Disclaimer. This show is for discussion and entertainment purposes only. The Finding Gnosis show is a platform for open discussion, exploration, and opinion sharing. The views expressed by hosts, guests, and participants are personal opinions and do not constitute professional, medical, legal, or financial advice. All topics discussed are only intended to spark curiosity, entertain, and encourage independent thought. If any subject interests you, we strongly advise conducting your own thorough research using reliable and professional sources. Critical thinking and due diligence is key. Stay curious, stay informed, be well, be lucky, and don't be an arsehole.
Yes, don't be an asshole. Welcome again, guys, to the Finding Gnosis show on the Finding Gnosis channel here on YouTube. I do hope you are exceedingly well. We will just have a little chat tonight. So do come on if you are able to. That would be good, you know. That's what we're here for. I better share the link in chat so you can come on at your leisure. One moment, please. Do say hello if you arrive into the live chat. So yeah, join the conversation using the link in the live chat, and we'll take it from there. See where the conversation goes. Hopefully we will find Gnosis, whatever that is. We live in hope, eh? So yeah, if you're new here, do say hello and join the show. Come on and say hello. Hello to everybody who is tuning in now. We've got people arriving now. So hopefully soon somebody will come on and the conversation will begin to flow. Yes, that is the hope. Okay, I've just pinned that message in the live chat. So all you have to do is click on the link and you will be on the show to enunciate whatever it is you want to tell the world, or at least the people who may listen to this live stream now or afterwards when it is published on YouTube. Okay, say hello if you're there. If you're not there, well, say hello as well. Because that would be interesting, wouldn't it? An impossible thing happening. Somebody who isn't there saying hello. Anyway, I'm just filling in time, waiting for somebody to come on here. So sorry if I'm speaking nonsensical gibberish. I am actually about to take a gulp of 7-Up Zero Sugar Pink Lemonade. There you go. That is a tasty and refreshing beverage. Okay. About 3 of you there now. So we'll just wait, will we? We'll wait for whoever it is that's going to come on here and say hello. Oh, Thought Provoker in the house, brother. Do you want to come on here, my friend? Good to have you here. It's wonderful to see TP in the house. TP, brother, are you coming on? The link is in chat. I do hope you are exceedingly well, sir. Let's see what's going on. The question mark is here. Himself, the man himself. Salutations, sir. Salutations. Salutations indeed. Do come on, sir, if you want to. Immediately. So, the Thought Provoker and the question mark are in the house. That's good. That's good. Are you coming on, guys? We'll get the show on the road. We're on the road to nowhere. No, hopefully we'll be on the road to somewhere. Hopefully we will find some Gnosis. Maybe. I'm just having another mouthful of this 7-Up Zero Pink Lemonade. I'm not quite sure, actually. I said it was exceedingly nice, but I'm not quite sure, actually. I don't know if it tastes any different to normal 7-Up, to be honest with you. Oh, well, what a disappointment. Anyway, it's got 0 sugar, 0 caffeine, so it's got a load of aspartame, and apparently that's exceedingly harmful stuff. And I've got to say exceedingly. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Thought Provoker said, give me a few minutes. That's good to know. He's coming on, guys. Okay. Right. Well, we'll wait a few minutes then. A couple of minutes. Sorry. A couple of minutes. 120 seconds. Right. Okay. Strawberry sugar-free chewing gum going into the old gob now. Right. Got to clean the teeth after you have an acidic drink, you know. Got to neutralize the acid with your saliva. Yeah. Hello to the newbies who have just joined tonight. Do say hello in the chat if you're there, and also come along. On you come. Link is in chat. Okay. Divine says, welcome to the Finding Gnosis show. Hit the like button now. Share the stream, folks. That would be good. That would be good. We might get some newbies in. Much love to Mason. Mason can't come on because he's already late for work. Well, Mason, we will surely miss you. We always enjoy your contribution. Thought Provoker's in the house. Hello to Thought Provoker.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, good, man. You haven't got a avatar on. Just so
No,
you know.
I know. I'm gonna sort it out right now. But yeah, how are you?
I'm okay, my friend. I'm okay. What about you?
Yeah, I'm chill.
Well, I say I'm okay. Bit grouchy, but you know,
I know
bit grouchy. Bit of a you know.
You're not the best, but you're not the worst either.
True. That's a good way of putting it.
Interesting music you've got on.
Oh,
it's cool. It's cool.
Is it on now? I better switch it off.
I mean, it's on, but I'm just saying it sounds cool.
Okay, there you go. I've turned it off. No. I know you might think it sounds cool, but I don't want to annoy people because some people don't like it. So.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even saying like keep it on or keep it off. I'm just saying it's cool. But yeah, I get your point.
Right.
How do I? Come on, edit audio avatar. Okay. Then upload. So I have to scroll through.
So what's happening, brother? Have you found Gnosis? Have you found anything interesting about this reality that you'd like to share with us? Have you got any newfound spiritual beliefs, or have you been questioning any of your beliefs, etc., etc.?
Not really. I mean, I'm still of the stance that either God doesn't exist or he does exist but is evil. Yeah. I mean, because of the way the world is and how people consider him to be this almighty, all powerful being, this deity, but is allowing all this evil and suffering to happen, basically.
Right.
So that's why I think he's evil.
Mm.
He has the power to stop it, but he chooses not to.
Thought
So
provoker. If I'm right, you were raised a Muslim, right?
actually I'll leave that for your speculation. Like I could have
Sorry,
been no,
I
don't
apologize.
apologize. Don't
I thought you
apologize.
mentioned it before, but you don't have to.
No,
Yeah.
I've mentioned Islam before, but there's a lot of things that I haven't told people. For example, whether my family have been, converted or not. I haven't I haven't got into detail
Ah,
of
I
that.
see. I see. So you could have been Christians who became. Yeah, I got you. Anyway, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. You have your own beliefs now.
yeah,
All that
but either way, Christian, Muslim, I'm agnostic.
same as brother.
Mm-hmm.
Same as. And thought provoker. Sometimes we talk about weird paranormal or like supernatural, strange occurrences in our lives, things that have happened, things that have gone bump in the night, perhaps. Some might call it poltergeist, ghosts, just weird shit that's happened. I mean, have you ever had anything like that in your life, personally speaking?
Have I had what in my life? Sorry.
Just any anything that could be termed paranormal, supernatural, just something strange, unexplainable that some might attribute to forces outside of this world. Some might attribute to some kind of spirituality. Some might attribute to, I don't know, it could be anything. It could be aliens. It could be interdimensional beings. I'm just asking you, have you ever had strange things happen in your life? Like, for example, it could be anything. It could be just dreams that came true. It could be out of body experience. It could be synchronicities that you know what a synchronicity is, right? It's when you have a coincidence that kind of is uncannily kind of like unlikely, and it seems to ascribe meaning to your situation, or it seems to have some kind of meaning for you because it's so unlikely to have happened that it kind of shocks you. And
So
it's kind of like some
basically,
people point to it.
a rare coincidence.
That's kind of it, but people ascribe a meaning to it. Basically, it's so unusual as a happenstance, and yet it seems to be so meaningful as well for the person who experiences it, that it does perhaps offer up proof of the supernatural. It's like a kind of shattering of one's thought of this being all there is, you know?
Interesting. You mentioned aliens. Do you believe in aliens?
Again, I'm agnostic on aliens. I don't think we've been visited by them. I don't think we've actually been able to. Well, apparently, recently we noticed. I think we noticed gases on another planet or something that apparently, like biological life, obviously causes the emission of carbon dioxide. And apparently, there's somewhere in the universe that scientists were pointing some kind of measuring devices at, and they were able to see fluctuations or something in some type of gas or the buildup of a specific type of gas that is related to life. So, but they obviously that's not to say it's complex life. It could be microbial, you know.
Okay. All
But
right.
yeah, I'm agnostic on that.
Fair enough.
No, sorry. I'm agnostic on complex life existing elsewhere in the universe, but I don't see why it couldn't. You know.
So are you basically in a situation where you neither believe nor disbelieve in aliens?
Well, I mean, I believe they could exist. Yeah, I'm in that boat. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether they exist or not, but I would be of the mindset. Well, if we exist, then if there's a Goldilocks zone somewhere else out in the universe with just the right settings, where there's a planet just the right amount from its host, its host star or whatever. Well, then why not?
Right.
Obviously, there's a lot of factors involved in it. It has to be the right orbit, the right distance, and the Maybe it has to be made out of the right kind of material as well, you know.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot going on.
let me ask you this: what is a pet peeve of yours?
Pet peeve.
Yeah, something that annoys you.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think unkindness, actually, when there's no
Okay.
need for it all, you know.
Okay.
What
All right.
about you?
Fair enough. A pet peeve of mine, and I've even made a video about this. A pet peeve of mine is when people open up your message and don't reply. That's a pet
So,
peeve.
so you see the grey ticks, the 2 grey ticks, and they don't reply, is it? On WhatsApp?
I mean, pretty much. Like, you got gray ticks and you got blue ticks.
Uh-huh.
So the blue ticks means that someone has read your message, right?
Yeah. But some people are really sneaky and they just have grey ticks, and you know, you can't tell if they've read your message or not. Have you seen that?
I'm aware of that concept,
Uh-huh.
and it is questionable because it's like, if you're doing that, then you're basically saying, let me hide the fact that I'm ignoring this person.
Yeah, but I don't think you can do it to a specific person. It would be all your contacts, you know.
I know, but my point still
Yeah.
stands. I'm saying this is people like who are like that.
Mhm.
They're basically sending me the message that, hey, I'm basically not just to me, to anybody. They're somewhat sending the message that, I like to ignore people. Let me hide that fact. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
Well, thought provoker.
Sorry, let me quickly wrap up what I'm saying regarding the thing. So basically, I don't mind if people don't reply right away. My issue is when you open the message. Like, if you're not going to reply, then just don't open the message. Go about your business. You know what I mean?
Indeed, but thought provoker, I must say that was a rather striking segue into your own, control of the conversation.
Oh no,
I
I didn't mean to sound controlling.
I'm joking, but I did
Good
ask.
banter.
I did ask you.
Yeah.
Had you ever experienced any strange occurrences in life?
Strange
I want to go back
occurrences.
to that.
Not really.
Not
I
really, bro.
mean, nothing spectacular. I've had dreams.
Okay.
I had a dream that, for example, the Hulk was chasing me. That was bizarre. It was scary. A
The
little scary.
Incredible Hulk was chasing you.
Yeah, basically, like, he wanted to basically destroy me.
Wow.
Yeah.
But how old were you when you had that dream?
No, this was probably last year.
Okay. Had you watched the film recently? Or
The Incredible Hulk. Not recently, but I have watched it in the past. I've watched the 2003 version and the 2008 version. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you?
No, I've never watched any of them. I don't know. Was he in the Avengers? I can't even remember. I watched the
Yeah, he
Avengers.
was.
Yeah,
He
I watched
was.
the Avengers.
Nice.
And I watched that when I was a kid. They used to do reruns on a Saturday morning of like 80s shows and sometimes even 70s shows. This is in the 90s.
Okay.
And sometimes they'd show the Incredible Hulk, like the TV version from like the 70s or something, or the 80s. But I think I might have watched it here and there, but I don't remember much about it. But
Interesting.
I know some of his catch. He says things like, "You won't like me if I'm angry."
Yeah, but
yeah.
you mentioned the Avengers, but did you watch the Avengers film in 2012?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I went to a View Cinema to see it, and I enjoyed it actually.
Did you see all the Avengers films, like Infinity War, Endgame?
No.
All right, interesting.
Hello to Isaac Spirit Man. How are you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, Isaac.
Good man. Good to see you again. Mason says, if you want interesting example for modern day prophecy, look into the cargo cult of John. Also, there is a real triomini force in our material reality. I'll riddle you through it next time. Yeah, I think that's something you're going to have to talk us through, Mason. So we'll leave it to you because you sound like the man who knows about it. So we'll look forward to that conversation. Just please remember to tell us next time. Hello to the wandering pessimist. Good to see you here, bro. And Gaia says, it's always wild when old memories resurface in dreams. And Anno says, hello, Gaia. Hello to Anno, too. Anno, you must realize I do joke sometimes on my community posts. So today, when I said, "Are we in heaven?" I was only joking. It was only a joke, So don't take me literally all the time. Remember that sometimes you have to question, is he joking? And I hope people realize I was joking when I was wondering whether we are indeed in heaven. Although, Isaac, I will ask you that question just for, reason of conversation. Are we in heaven?
I think we're in a place in our bodies that's not heaven, but I think that we could achieve a state in our minds that would be considered heaven-like state, right? So I think you could either be in hell on earth or in heaven on earth, depending on your mind, depending on your body, depending on your temple, depending on the energy you put out of it. But I think when we pass on, there will be a transformation of some sort of energy into another body. I don't know what I'd call it heaven, but I don't know, because like the Bible talks about, it says like when you like look at the heaven, it's inside of you, right? And it's like you look into heaven and everything else will be added unto you, like in an orderly fashion, almost like at least in your mind. But I don't know about like I think we're not in heaven like on earth, like, but I think it's a mental thing more so.
Right. Thought provoker, what about you? That question. I joked around on my community post earlier. I just asked the question, are we in heaven? What would you say to somebody who asked you that question?
Oh yeah, we are absolutely in heaven. We are absolutely in heaven. Like, look, we live in a world of wage slavery and all this stuff. It's beautiful, sensational. Love working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, eh? You, you know what I'm saying? What do you guys, can you relate? It's enjoyable, isn't it?
It's your thoughts, brother.
No, but can you relate?
I don't want to infect your mind. I just want you to speak freely on the matter.
Oh no, I am. No, I'm saying, can you relate how enjoyable it is on this, planet Earth, aka heaven?
The question marker is bringing up the lyrics there. Oh, I could try and sing that, but it would be hell rather than heaven, so I won't do that. So, what did you say, TP?
I said, can you relate? Like, it's enjoyable, like this heavenly place, of wage slavery and all the bad stuff in this world. It's heavenly, isn't it?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because sometimes it has seemed heavenly, but then other times it seemed neutral, but then other times it seemed hell. And then the more you think about it, the more hellish it is. As man groweth in knowledge, he groweth in sorrow. That says it in the Bible. And yeah, I think that for me personally, the more I've analyzed this world, the creepier it has become, and the stranger it's come, and it would seem the more unfair, unjust, and tragic it has become. Me, that's not me, by the way. That's somebody who has the username me, says they're depopulating humanity through the money system. Me, do you want to come on and speak about that then, me? Let us know why you think that and what that's about.
DNW, why are you talking to yourself?
Well, as far as I know, that's all that I can't prove any of you exist, really.
No wonder you say we live in a strange world. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
For anyone who's watching,
I don't know. The last comment is interesting. That's an interesting one.
What's that?
Like, it says no free people would voluntarily, or whatever the word is, choose to procreate.
Not to.
Yeah, choose not to.
I don't know. I meet a lot of people that believe in the future. They believe in their ability to raise a family and raise a generation of hope or anything like that. So I think there are people fighting the other direction of whatever's happening. At least.
No. He is he's saying that basically free people would choose to procreate in this world.
Oh, would. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I read it wrong.
Wait. Is there a double negative?
Sorry.
No, wait. Is there a double? Hang on. Let's read it again. No free people would voluntarily choose not to procreate. So that, I think that's a double negative. So therefore, it's a positive. So basically, yeah, as DNW said, he's basically saying people would voluntarily procreate, I think.
I see.
1111 Undi the Sun says, "What the fuck?" And Gaia
Hey.
says, "Yes, me, the thanatopolitics of modern capitalism." Yes, me. Do you want to come on and talk about your views? It would be interesting to hear them, brother.
Is the guy
Yeah.
below?
Gaia, if you want to come on as well, please do.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there supposed to be a comma? Like no comma, free people would. Is that?
No, I completely understand what I understood what he meant.
Yeah.
No free
English is
people
my
would
first language, but
voluntarily
it's kind
choose
of
not to
confusing.
procreate. I mean, it makes sense.
No.
He's saying that if they were free, yeah, which he believes they're not, those who choose not to procreate are not free, is basically what he's saying. Because he's saying free people.
I just look at it
choose
like this. I see a double
to
negative,
procreate.
so basically,
It makes sense. It's fine. Don't worry.
All right. Okay. Oh, we're over it. All right. I'm done.
As
So-
in, I understand the message he's trying to communicate. I don't
Okay.
necessarily understand the meaning behind it, though, as in why he thinks that. But I'd like him to come on and explain.
Oh
his
yeah,
thoughts.
he actually cleared it up with that comment.
Yeah, he says there would not be declining birth rates in a free society.
Yeah, that clears it up.
Okay, me.
Now-
do you want to come on
now
and
I
talk
get
about that, brother?
it.
So
I like
Isaac,
that.
are you from the States?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm from
cool.
Cali, but I'm not like part of any politics. I'm not part of anything. I'm not part of work. I'm not part of anything. I live in a garage with my parents.
Oh, okay, noted.
I'm
So-
like a free floating agent, bro.
Okay, all right. So,
Straight
by
up.
the way, I want to clarify something. I was only joking about us being in heaven, in case anyone didn't get
Oh
it.
yeah, no, we got that.
Oh yeah. We're basically in the south of heaven. South of heaven.
I can see that. Like
Mm.
we're just not there, but we might be in a direction of it,
Interesting.
maybe.
So, Isaac, are you agnostic?
No, I believe there's a higher power for sure. I've done a lot of free thinking, meditation, dreams, experiences of prayer, faith, um, testing myself, journeys. What else? Astral projection. I don't know. There's something happening that's beyond what I can understand, but I could see it and I can read it, like synchronicity or something like that.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think there's something happening. I do believe in God. Yeah, I think there's a higher being that's like me, but just a higher being. Like I can understand that.
I think it's possible to believe in God and be agnostic. No? Yes? No?
I don't know the meaning of agnostic. Maybe
Okay. I mean, I'd have to.
it's like you kind of believe, right?
So basically, I would have to look at it verbatim. Just hold on a second.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a beer then while you grab your thoughts.
Banter. Good one. So agnostic, it basically means a person who believes that nothing is known or can be known of the existence or nature of God.
You have the knowledge, but you don't. Sorry, you have the belief, but you don't have the knowledge to show it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like no one knows whether you believe or disbelieve. You don't have the knowledge as to yeah. You just don't know. All right, so Isaac, I'll read it. I'll read a different definition. It says a person who holds the view that any ultimate reality, such as God, is unknown and probably unknowable. So technically, you could be an agnostic in the sense that you believe in God, but you don't know that God exists. If that makes sense, can you just
Yeah,
believe?
that would be more of a belief than a knowing.
Right.
Yeah,
Would
so
you
maybe
say?
I am more agnostic, but
Yeah.
I would say through certain experiences, there's a part of me that knows. Like
Okay.
I've had
All
those
right.
moments, but it might not be prominent in the forefront of my brain to like shape my reality that way. But it could potentially, if I could
Mm-hmm.
access that. It's like putting God at the peak of your mind. It's supposed to align time and like align how you act and like orderly do things.
All right.
Maybe I haven't put that at the top of my mind before.
Mm-hmm. Hey, DNW, what is the title of this live?
It's just Friday Night Live. It's nothing. There's no real agenda or topic.
Oh, okay. So basically, it's a free for all conversation. Cool.
So Anno says she hasn't been able to come up with a really good example to show people why it's impossible for her to change her brain. She says her brain repertoire is heavily shaped by her past. Yeah, but it's also shaped by your potential, Anno, and the now. Okay. So it's not just the past, you know. You have a potential there that maybe hasn't been tapped yet. Maybe. I'm just saying maybe, possibly. You know, I've met people that learned to play the piano. I legitimately met someone who learned to play the saxophone in their 70s.
All
And
right.
in his 70s, he started going around touring with a band. And I just couldn't believe it. It blew my mind. Like, and he learned to play the ukulele before that, all in his 70s, right?
1 second.
But in it during the previous part of his life, which is like nearly 70 years, he didn't play anything. So there you go.
How old was the man that you met?
In his 70s. He was somewhere in his 70s.
Oh.
I was absolutely shocked, but it's a true story.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anno says that's somewhat inspirational.
Interesting.
Me says private banks own our country's democracy is a farce. They are Satanists, are carrying out plans to depopulate, as was written in the Georgia Guidestones. Emmy, do you want to come on and tell us about that? Are you able to?
Far from what I've seen working in small operations in almost every town that seem connected, but I would like to hear more about that. Because I don't know about it. I just heard about it. Like the Georgia Guidestones were like,
Did
oh, there's
someone
overpopulation or something.
What happened to the Georgia Guidestones? Did someone like get rid of them, or was it a government that got rid of them, or was it an
The government
individual?
got rid of them, I think.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I could be.
The question mark says, "Thank you for sharing inspiration." There you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Isaac. Cool. So, would you say you're agnostic or you're undecided?
Agnostic, then. If I have to choose between those two, yeah.
Okay, agnostic. Welcome to the agnostic.
I'm saying, like, I don't know, but I will say there are those moments where I'm like, there is a part of my brain that's almost sure. But yeah, if it's still open to like not understanding it but believing in it, then yeah, I don't understand it. I can't. I don't think I will.
Let me read you the other definition that I read earlier.
Okay.
It says a person who believes that nothing is known or can be known of the existence or nature of God. If you want, I can read it again.
I think that that wouldn't be as close to me because I think we were made in kind of a thumbprint image, like the way that our mind might work is like kind of shows how heaven might work, or the way the balance of pain and peace work here, like kind of balance, or how our body is perfectly balanced, or how the sun and moon is perfectly balanced. I think there's something to that that's might show his thumbprint.
You know what? At the end of the day, I just remember you said that there's a part of you that knows that God exists. So I guess you're not agnostic.
Yeah, I don't know. The first definition was closer.
Okay.
But
so
I see what you're saying. The second one is like, no, I don't know. Yeah.
So what I've asked DW this before, but it's because there's no title. There's no like specific. It's a free for all conversation. You can talk about whatever. What is a pet peeve of yours?
A what?
A pet peeve of yours.
A pet peeve. I got magnetic brain stimulation treatment because they told me it'd help me, and it fucked up my brain a little bit. And that's my biggest pet peeve. And now, if I hear like motors or like loud sounds, like I almost get anxious and like want to fight, like impaled.
You
Yeah,
wanna fight?
it's weird. So I got the
Wait, say
magnetic
that again.
frequencies on my brain.
Magnetic.
Yeah,
Sorry. You got magnetic something in your
frequencies on my brain. Yeah,
magnetic
they said it would
frequencies in
help
your.
because I was in a coma. It kind of made me just feel more numb, like dead,
Oh wow, plot twist. I didn't.
like
You were in a coma.
lobotomy.
How long were you in a coma for?
Just 2.5 days. Nothing crazy. Just
2.5 days. Oh, okay.
I ripped my
Question mark.
brain in 3 spots though. That was the bad part.
Oh wow, how did that happen?
Skateboarding, 10-foot fall, going like 15, 20 miles per
Oh,
hour.
10-foot fall.
20 miles per hour, so 15. Yeah.
What? You hearing this, DNW?
I was reading a question mark's comment just now. What about agnostic?
Oh yeah.
I think it's just being pedantic, but it is interesting because I think when people say agnostic, they kind of admit and they don't even know what God means, or that it's part of being agnostic, isn't it? But yeah,
Let's say I'm a little
I
bit
don't
out
know.
of it then.
Hmm?
I would say a little bit farther than agnostic, but not like I could tell you what and how or why or yeah.
So in short, your pet peeve is when you hear like mortars.
Yeah, it's like or
Wow.
like loud percussion sounds through walls where I'm trying to sleep. I'll wake up in anxious like adrenaline states of like fucking fight or flight.
Oh,
And it didn't happen till after that.
damn, this sounds scary, man. I'm sorry to hear
Yeah,
that.
it'll be like ringing through my veins, like, and I'll be sweating. And I'll be like, I could fight. I
Is there a
wake up
way to
already like
is there a way to reverse this magnetic thing that you got?
I've had a couple people say, why don't you hook up the magnets to your brain with the opposite polarity? But it's like I don't have that equipment. I went to a facility. Where would I even start?
Whew. I
And I
need
went
to
to a
look.
medical facility, and like they didn't tell me the side effects. But I could go all day because it is my pet peeve. All
I
that
see. Yeah,
timeline.
no. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So
That's
I don't
fair.
want to. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
But yeah, it's annoying. Like
But I always get this out of the way quickly. I'm gonna search it up in the future. What is it called? Magnetic what?
TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation.
TMS. I'll just.
Hello
Pretty
to Green Soul.
It's a
Guys in the
like a
comments,
blast.
if you have any questions or you'd like to make any add to the conversation, why don't you come on? There's plenty of seats, so just come on and talk.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I looked it up later. They blasted my brain with like magnetic electric frequencies, like delta, gamma, alpha, to try to balance me out, and it didn't work.
Yeah, that's a shame, man. You should sue them.
I told my mom that and my dad that. They're like, we don't want to get involved. Like, if you're gonna do that, you have to do it yourself. I'm like, I don't want to do it myself. So
I see.
I'm mentally like, I've been in mental hospitals. Like, I could probably find the right attorney, but it's like with Social Security even. So if I want to get on Social Security, I have to get an attorney. It's weird. It's like set up this way, and
I
they'll
see.
take 50% for life. You know how rich these lawyers are in my town? How many people are on it, and how many people were in the illegally on it? Yeah,
Oh,
like full industry. I think if I ever get on Social Security, I'll have to be reformed fully, like Doge is probably gonna do. But
I see. Well, sorry, man.
it's all right. It's just like I got denied 3-4 times with my head injuries.
Whew, that's crazy,
And
man.
yeah, they'd have to back pay me like $200K if I got
So,
accepted.
so have you 200K? Oh wow. So
Yeah,
have
because
you
I
stopped?
applied in 2017.
So have you stopped skateboarding?
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's a wise decision,
Yeah.
respectfully. But yeah.
But it's a journey. It kind of made me stronger. It made me I had an outer body experience, so I kind of felt more in tune with the spirit. I went through like all these mental journeys. I felt like it was part of my timeline to get a coma, and it was supposed to happen, straight up. But it
I,
feels like the magnet treatment was the opposite. It wasn't supposed to happen, and it fucked up my timeline.
oh wow.
I'd rather go through a coma than go back to that brain place. Yeah,
I see. I
that's
understand.
how fucked up it made me feel.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, and then my lucid dreams went away. So I studied lucid dreaming for 3 to 5 years, and that went away. That made me so sad that all of a sudden they shocked my brain. Boom, can't lucid dream. but I could dream still. I dream every night in a high level, like high intellect, high powers. I could manifest destiny in my dreams, but I can't become lucid since they shocked my brain the day of. Weird. And then I got home, I tried to worship God, right? So I got home, tried to worship God after they shocked my brain. I couldn't feel it anymore. I can't feel that part of me. They burnt it. It's gone. Like, so I
Wow.
don't worship God anymore. I don't. Like, I used to worship God every day after work, and I would do shrooms and I would drink beer and I would smoke my nicotine, but I still worship God no matter how high I was.
Do you still do that
So,
other stuff like the shrooms and the?
yeah, like, but usually I can't right now. So my family lives with me. I live with my family, I mean, and my other sister lives with my family, and they have a kid. So like I haven't been tripping for like 3 months, 4 months because they're here, and they move out in like a week. So when they move out, yes, I'm gonna start again.
So you
I
can't
just
do
want to
shrooms.
respect them and not like go on an outburst, like on shrooms where I'm like singing or like chanting. So I'll chant. I'll chant. I'll be like doing the throat singing. And my mom came in one day. I was shrooming. She's like, "We could hear that. Like that's so loud." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know." Like,
You know what you should do? Get do the shrooms. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm
no,
joking.
not no. I'll have to wait like 2 weeks. I love them. They're my favorite. Like I don't want to promote it though. I'm just saying. For me, I have brain damage, and I read that it helps with brain damage, and it does.
I see. I see.
So I feel better. I feel more alive. I feel
Taking
everything.
mushrooms helps brain damage, does it?
Yeah, there's a lot of studies. I don't want to. It's not medical information. It's studied by universities. It's not proven. It's nothing real, but there is evidence for PTSD, brain memory loss, uh, traumatic brain injuries. All this took. It's a neurological pathway designer. So if you're in the right setting with the right therapy, you could design your pathways in a new format. Kind of like how the girl in chat was saying she can't change her mind. If you take like a microdose of mushrooms with like a professional, they can go into your mind and like fix those potholes in your brain where like, oh, you have a little bump here when you're driving through your neurological pathways. There's a bump. We could pave that over in a setting where we talk it out and like smooth it out. And now you go through those pathways again, and you've been shown the answer, and now you don't get caught up on them. You could build new pathways. It's all. There's a lot of studies behind it.
Hmm.
I
Just so
took lion's mane yesterday.
I'm
That's
curious.
another neurotropic.
When you say shrooms, right? Are they the same as mushrooms, or are they completely different? Sorry
Yeah, the
for my
shrooms
ignorance.
is usually when you refer to them as like this, the magic. Yeah,
I need to look them up because I always wondered, like, are shrooms basically just mushrooms, or are they a different type of thing? I don't
they
know.
are. They're psilocybin, like psilocybe. What do they call them? It's a strain that has a brain-altering neurological chemical. It's like
Oh, okay.
it's like Adderall, but more trippy. Like it's a focus. You'll focus on it, yes, but usually the other aspects are so intense. You need a guide to focus. Like if you're
Into
not
it.
an expert, you need a guide.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Yeah, like or just this, your best friend who loves you. That'll work too, straight up.
Hmm. Okay.
Because then you
All
could
right.
talk about anything and you could understand anything. But then you have to be open with them 100%. Like you can't hold anything back. If you feel it, like you need to talk to it and talk about it. You can't say no. You almost have to tell him like what you're going through.
Okay.
That's what they'll tell you in the therapy. Like you can't hold it back. You have to go through it.
Noted.
But it can be very intense. Like so, you're going through past stuff to unblock it, and it brings it up. So now you're going through it. So now you're crying, you're laughing, you're dancing, you're bent over, throwing up. Like
I see. Wait,
you never
you
know.
throw up from shrooms?
Yeah, it's like a purger. It'll make you go out both ends. It'll clean you out perfectly.
Oh, all right, all right.
Yeah.
Cool. The more you know. The more
But
you know.
if you start doing them for like a month, you will
Mhm.
not have any. You won't throw up and you won't like shit.
Oh, okay.
But most of the time,
Uh,
it's gonna clean you out.
all right, that sounds cool. I'm not gonna lie, I hate vomiting. I hate the feeling. Like it's like I'm being turned inside out.
Yeah.
It's such a
I drink a
horrible.
lot of beer, so kind of used to it. But
I see. So hey, here's a I told DNW earlier a pet peeve of mine. Is basically when people open up your message and don't reply. That's a pet peeve of mine.
yeah. Oh
And
wait,
don't
real
get me
quick.
wrong.
In chat, Anno Banan. No. Oh, Anno Banano. Is that supposed to rhyme? But I
I
wouldn't
know
just do
banana.
them. Just don't just do them because I said that. Make sure you look into it. Watch every video you can. Talk to people that you know. Don't just jump into that. It won't. It's not a guaranteed solution, but it's studied. It's not proven. It's studied to work like how I was saying with neurological pathways and past and facing it and having someone there to care for you and show you like and speak you through it. It'll repathway it. So next time you think about it, repathway it's smooth. You won't even get caught up in it anymore.
So
What they
Isaac,
said.
what do you think of that pet peeve? Like people just click on your message but they don't reply. Like
Which
they
one?
so basically, okay. So what I'm saying, no, I'm just speaking in general. Like basically
Oh,
being
oh,
left unread. Basically, like some.
oh
So
yeah,
what? So when someone, like when I, for example, if I send a message to someone, right, I don't
yeah,
expect people to reply right away. That's not an issue for me.
yeah.
But it's when they choose to open up your message and then just not reply. My thing is, if you're not ready to reply, I'm fine with that, even if it takes 2 years. Just don't open the message. You get what I'm saying?
That makes sense. Don't give them that thought that you just don't want to reply. But most likely, if I don't reply, I'm usually really anxious. I'm either depressed, I'm out of it. I don't want to interact with social people around me because I'm just not in that mode.
No,
That's
but what I'm
so
saying,
that might be
but
what's
Isaac,
happening.
what I'm saying is, like, for example, right? You see me, if I'm not
Yeah,
ready to reply to someone, I'm not gonna open their chat. Do you know what I'm saying?
I
But
get
there
I
are
get that
people,
100%.
they will open the chat just to not reply. It's like, why did you open the chat just to not reply? Just don't open the chat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
But
saying?
there is a chance they opened it, started typing, didn't trust themselves, deleted it, and didn't respond. Right? Because I've
Interesting.
experienced that. I've opened up chats where I want to respond, and I'm like, I'm anxious or like tripping out. I can't even think of what to say or why or how. Like
Mm,
I'll be in those states, and I can't. It'll take me 2 or 3 days.
fair enough. But I mean, I
I'm
think
just yeah.
I,
I'm giving both
I,
possibilities here.
I mean, I get all that, and also I also take into consideration that some people, they just forget to reply. Like they're like, oh, I'm gonna reply later, but they forget. I give people leeway in those situations, but at least there are certain people that at least communicate. Like, oh shit, sorry, I forgot to reply. I'm fine with that, but there are just some people who just don't care. I'm not saying this is the biggest deal in the world. I was just sharing a pet peeve. That's all.
Oh, I didn't know that was your pet peeve. I didn't grasp. I missed that tiny little part, so now I get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now I
That's my
get
yeah.
it. Yeah, I feel it. I actually turned my red notifications off, so even if I do click it, they don't know.
Mm. Well, you want to let them know, hey, just so you
I
know.
don't. I don't want to
No,
let them know.
no, no, no.
I'll
But
keep them guessing, I guess.
no, what I'm saying is because it's funny because DNW brought that up earlier, and I was like, you know what? People who do that, it's almost as if they're sending the message that, hey, listen, I ignore people, but I don't want you to know that I ignore people. Low key, low key.
Yeah. Well, usually I'm just so socially awkward that I don't know what the fuck to say or something.
I see. I see.
Like
Do,
I'm
do,
like I'll get frozen up. I'll be like, oh shit, what? How do I? What?
do you think that can be helped?
Maybe it might just be me.
Mm. Oh, okay. I guess it depends who you're around. If you can trust someone, you can just communicate to them. Say, hey,
Yeah. If it's like my best friend hit me up, I'm gonna respond immediately. Yeah.
oh, okay.
But I don't really have a
Yeah.
best friend actually anymore. He went to the Air Force and he's like doing like saving the world shit.
All right. Nice.
I don't know.
Cool. Hey, do you have a favorite sport?
Probably esports, video games.
Esports
Yeah.
or EA Sports?
No, esports is like Call of Duty, like uh, Apex Legends,
Oh, okay.
Warzone.
I mean, I've heard of EA Sports, but esports, interesting. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, esports is more of like an American Asian like term. I guess no, they're pretty big in Europe too with CS:GO. It's like they get hired by a company. You go to tournaments, you win $100,000 tournament, you get a cut. You know.
Okay. Have you ever won any of those?
No, I never went to one. I never signed up or tried, but I watch it.
Oh, okay.
So
All
you'll get
right.
to watch live, and you'll know the players. Like, this guy's good with a sniper. This guy's good running around like a ninja. It's kind of it's like football, but you have a keyboard and a mouse.
Cool.
Yeah.
So like, what is your favorite sport? Like, is it basketball? Is it football? Is it hand egg? What is, what
Favorite
is it?
sport on land, like in real life, would be snowboarding.
All right. Yeah, you love boarding, snowboarding,
Yeah.
skateboarding.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Wakeboarding, snowboarding. I grew up skateboarding since I was 7. So,
Okay. All right. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, what is a deal breaker for you? Like when it comes to potential relationships, what is a deal breaker?
like a good deal breaker or a bad deal breaker?
Wait, what's a good deal breaker?
Like a good deal breaker would be, I guess that would be more of a deal approver, but a deal breaker would be like, because it could be a positive, like, oh, that's a deal, like that's a deal breaker, like I approve. It could be the same saying, at least in America.
Oh, interesting.
So like it
So
could be
okay,
good or
so
bad. It just
so
depends on which way you're
okay,
looking.
okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I'm pretty
You,
sure, unless I'm mistaken.
yeah.
So
Okay.
you're thinking more bad, right?
Yeah. Bad deal breaker.
Okay, let me think. Probably if I find out she does cocaine or meth. First off, because in my town it's pretty like prominent. You'll find these girls and like you'll find out they just do a lot of cocaine. Like,
Wow. Why do you think
and
they do that?
huh?
I said, why do you think they do that?
Well, they're like college partying, and then in my town, like there's probably ran by like some high up people, with it, so it just gets spread around.
Okay.
That's
I
probably my guess,
mean,
but I don't want to get too deep into politics.
no,
But
no, that's fine. Hey, listen, I'm not into politics myself.
yeah. So I don't
Um,
know. I forgot the question after I said that because I'm laughing my ass
so
off.
I asked you what your deal breaker,
Oh
like, what
yeah,
is
so
your deal breaker?
that would be one of them. Another one would be like, you said you were just like going to hang out with your girls or some shit, and like there was like a couple guys there or some shit, and you didn't invite me. Like I'd be pretty pissed. I'd be like, what the fuck? Like there's other guys there.
Interesting.
Obviously, you bring me because there's other guys there. But if it's all girls, like do your thing. Have an orgy if you want. I don't give a fuck. Do
So
your thing.
basically, if a woman who basically if a woman invited you and there are other guys there, but doesn't invite you.
Yeah, like if she was going to hang out with all of her friends, and I find out there's like 3 guys there, I'd be like, what the fuck? That's weird. Like
Hmm.
obviously, I'm a guy and there's other guys there. There should be no reason I shouldn't be there. That's like I don't know. I've had it happen in the past. That's why
I see.
I'm not with her anymore.
I see. Sorry to hear that, man.
So it was kind of pet peevey, I guess. Even
No, hey, it's fine, man. Hey, a pet peeve is a pet peeve. For
similar
me,
deal breaker. Yeah.
a deal breaker is if she smokes. That's a deal.
Oh,
Yeah, if
even
she's
weed.
any kind of smoking,
Ooh, okay.
even
Oh,
vaping is a deal breaker for me.
vaping would be kind of a deal breaker for me because I did it for like 6 months and it fucked me up and I had to quit because I'm like I don't want to see someone go downfall like that, and that's how you probably feel about smoking, huh?
Mm. I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad for you that you decided to quit.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
still smoke tobacco and weed though.
Oh, okay. On you on hey, you live and learn. You live and learn, man.
Yeah, I probably won't. I'll probably die and learn.
I see.
Yeah,
Why do you like weed out of curiosity?
it's something stimulating. Maybe because I have brain damage, that it helps
Oh,
stimulate my brain. Maybe
I see. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe could help.
Some people say they smoke weed because it relaxes them. That's what I hear. So,
Yeah, though it's a stimulant, but it can also be relaxing at the same time. I guess. Like
uh,
they have the indica, which is supposed to be the terpene set for the chemical to like go into your brain that fits it right to make you more sedative. Is indica, and the chemicals that are in the sativa plant are supposed to go into the more like thinking creativity part.
interesting.
Yeah, but it's not a huge difference. Like you're getting THC, that's what gets you high, or medicated, whatever.
Damn, you know a
But
lot
the
about
terpenes are
this.
supposed to change how it feels.
You seem pretty educated on a lot of these. Like, you seem to know a lot about like THC and shrooms and what does THC? Wait, let me look that up. THC. What does that stand for?
Yeah, I think it's called
Q.
tetrahydrocannabinol.
Oh wow, you already know.
I'll be right back.
THC.
I'm gonna grab a smoke.
Cool.
Uh,
Oleg Dmitriev says, "Doesn't vaping smell good?" Honestly, whether it smells good or not, personally, I just don't like any kind of smoking. Vaping, smoking, whatever you want to call it, I just don't like inhaling it. Apparently, it's not good for you, so. You know what? Whilst they're gone, guys, let me know what is a deal breaker for you in terms of relationships, potential relationships. What is a deal breaker for you? Like I said, for me, a deal breaker is if she's a smoker. If she's a smoker, deal breaker. So yeah, let me know what is a deal breaker for you. Hmm. Okay. And I'm back. All right, let's see. Excuse me. Patsy Cline says, I only smoke pot immediately before I get into bed. It makes me sleepy and I dream more. I also only smoke before bed because it gives me the munchies, which I don't want to have. Interesting.
It's funny. I love the munchies because I hit my head when I hit my head, I can't taste or smell. So I have no appetite. So it helps me
Good
eat.
God. Like, you
Yeah, it
literally
fucking
can't smell
sucks.
anything or just to some extent?
I could taste like 3%. So I could get like sweet or savory, whatever. I can't taste the flavor. Like I eat a lemon and be like, yeah, it's sweet or sour, but I'm like, I can't taste the lemon part. Or I'll eat an orange. It's like if I eat an orange or a lemon, it's basically the same. Or like a that's
Hmm.
very weird. It's like
Wow.
3%, 5%, yeah.
I see.
Sucks. I have no
I
desire to
can
eat.
imagine. I can imagine. So
So I
like
drink beer all
the
day.
beer.
It's my
So the
calories.
beer, can you taste the beer?
No, it's
Wow.
water. That makes it easier to drink.
Wait. Oh, you got water.
No, it tastes like water. I mean,
Oh, right. Interesting.
yeah, it's like
It's
it's like it's like tastes like the lightest beer possible. Like you put a drop of beer in there. Like if I had my old taste, you put a drop of beer in a cup of water.
so does having low taste, does it make it easier for you to drink or eat X, Y, and Z? Or
Yeah, there was a time in my life where I decided I can't taste, I can't really smell, so I went vegan for a year and a half. I've never been healthier in my life, and never felt better. But I'm not vegan anymore, and I'm
okay.
overweight now. But
Oh,
I was 135 at the time, dude.
what are you
Vegan,
now?
205 probably.
205. Oh, okay, noted.
Just like, yeah, one time I fasted for 2.5 months. I lost 60 pounds.
Okay,
It was wild. I like broke records. I biked every day and drank water and just barely ate.
I see.
It was
I see.
tight. My family was like, "What the fuck, Isaac?" So I might do that again this summer because it's starting to get hot, and I would just sweat it out every day, sweat it out.
I see. Hey, can you do
You
a
have to
British
have
accent?
water to sweat out fat. You have to drink water to lose weight. It's weird.
I see. So you've water fasted before?
Yeah, water fast. And I would be hungry at night. Be like, all right, half a banana. I'm just gonna chug water with banana and make my stomach feel full, and it worked.
Okay. All right. Hey.
Yeah, so I
That's it.
figured all these tricks and shit.
All right. All right. So are you planning to get back to 135 again? Or?
No, my favorite weight's 170, 165.
Okay. Cool.
Because that means I'm eating right, biking, and I'm eating meat though. If I don't eat meat, I'll lose like 30 pounds.
Okay. Noted.
And I kind of need that. In this town, dude, you never know. You might have to get into a fight or some shit.
I see. Patsy
In
Cline says.
another town I was in, less fucking violent. I could be 135.
Mm, yeah. Patsy says. So Patsy Cline says you're overweight because of the munchies.
And the
I see.
beer. Mainly the beer. Well, both. Both.
I see.
Like, I'll buy a whole pizza and I'll eat it in like 12 hours or like 8 hours.
That
Like,
reminds me. Speaking of pizza, do you prefer Domino's pizza or Pizza Hut?
um, depends on what I'm feeling. Like, sometimes I like the cheaper feeling of the pizza from, like, as funny as that is, like the hot and ready's, like, kind of cheap and like easier. It's just, but then if I have the money, I'm going to Domino's for sure, though.
Mm, interesting.
They just have better crust.
I didn't know
Oh
you had.
God!
I didn't know they had Pizza Hut in America. Do you have Pizza Hut in
Yeah.
America?
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course. I think it's American, no?
Oh,
Yeah.
Pizza Hut. I thought you said Little Caesars. Yeah, Pizza Hut
No.
is pretty equal with Domino's.
Who said Little Caesar? Sorry.
Sorry, that's what I thought in my head.
Oh.
I was like,
I,
sometimes I like that cheap pizza, but
Okay. So let me ask the question again. So do you prefer Domino's or Pizza Hut?
oh, okay.
As in
Most of our
HUT.
Pizza Huts went out, but I remember their dough being so good that I would almost want to choose Pizza Hut just for the dough.
Just for the dough.
I
What about
remember the
this?
bread. Yeah, the bread being better.
So you prefer Pizza Hut in terms of the dough, whereas you prefer Domino's in terms of the what?
Flavor and like how they do the spices and like the
What?
grit under the crust. It's all like they have like the spices under the crust.
What
I
is
don't know.
going on? People
I
are
don't know.
picking
I have all these weird.
Domino's over Pizza Hut? Oh no, D&W, don't let me down. Domino's or Pizza Hut?
Wow, awesome.
well, unfortunately, obviously,
No.
I'm vegan and I don't eat gluten, so I don't enjoy
Oh,
pizza anymore.
oh, wow.
Isn't there a vegan? Is there or is
I
there
was
not?
gluten free too when I went vegan. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah, I
felt
don't really
amazing.
like gluten-free pizza, so I don't eat it anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But
But I
before
used to like pizza.
before, if you had to pick, like before,
Yeah.
Domino's or Pizza Hut, if you had to pick before.
Do you know I can't remember what Pizza Hut was like.
Fair enough.
Mm.
Fair enough. To all of you who have decided to pick Domino's over Pizza Hut, you need the straight jacket. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
No, that's cool. Hey, Papa John's though in chat, that's not a bad choice. I don't know. You guys have that?
Oh God, Papa John's. I've had
It's
Papa
like,
John's, but Pizza Hut is superior.
yeah, it is better, but it's more like you're going to a big ass party and you could get like hella more pizza from Papa John's. I think
Hmm.
that's the only thing because they're like the same price, bigger pizza, thicker meat, thicker cheese, but like it's not the same flavor. Like it doesn't hit right. It's like
Interesting.
more for like feeding a big crowd to me. Papa John's.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
We're
Guys,
becoming pizza experts over here, you guys. Come on.
yeah. But guys, always remember Pizza Hut reigns supreme. So yeah,
Yeah.
guys, let me know what is your favorite? Is it Pizza Hut, Domino's, or Papa John's? In the meantime, whilst they think of an
Let's
answer.
hear it. The most
Guy
Ugh.
Gaia the Sage says they are both terrible. Reminds me of Little Caesars or pizza rolls. Guess I'm a pizza purist.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing my ass off. That's funny. I
PP.
love pizza rolls too. Like they are cheap feeling, but it's like I think it's nostalgic. I think that's the only reason.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. So, hey, by the way, if you don't mind me asking, and you can say prefer not to say, are you child free by choice?
Me?
Yes.
Um, there was a point in my life where I like grew up in middle school and high school. My only goal was to have a family. I wanted a job. I wanted kids, right?
Right.
But that obviously didn't last very long. And I got to college and I broke up with my first girl. I said, F that. I'm done. I haven't even went into dating since college. I haven't even like even cared to think about it. Like I've hooked up with girls like, 10 times in the last, maybe 10 years, maybe 10 times. Like,
I
but I don't
see.
really care about dating another because I just lost that inspiration. I don't think I'm able, like the way I look at money now, the way I look at having a job, I don't think I could pull that off. I don't think
I
I'll be able to
see.
pull it off. But I
I see.
would, like in my intent of heart, it'd be really cool, right? If I had the money, if I had the land, if I had the family, the caretakers, if I had my babysitter, whatever, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it would be really cool to have a kid, but I don't think I'm there. No.
Okay. So, what is the likelihood of you having children in the future? Personally, I'm
It
child
would
free.
the likelihood would be me winning a lottery.
Oh, okay. Noted.
I'm just
Noted.
joking. I'm saying if I had enough money, that's the likelihood.
Oh, okay. For me, hey, you know what? I see you as a child free member. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, most likely. I'm a kid at heart, and it's like I'd be a kid raising a kid. It's like,
I see. Yeah.
am I?
Personally,
But if my wife was smarter than me, hey, I think I could help.
I see. Are you new to DNW's channel by any chance?
Yeah, I've followed a few shows. I'll watch some of the more like spiritual or theological discussions, but usually it's so packed I don't really join because there's a lot of people, right? Or if I remember
So
correct,
wait, is this your first time on DNW's
I
live
think
stream?
it's my second or third, maybe.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
But
second
yeah,
probably. Could be third.
I personally won't be having children, and I
Okay.
think, yeah, that's just the way it is. For many reasons, many reasons. Like for one, um, the world is a horrible place.
That's my
Two,
biggest fear
but two,
of it.
I would be worried sick if I had a child because I'd just be worried sick. You know,
Yeah,
like when
yeah,
the minute they
me
leave
too.
the house,
I'm an
I'm
anxious
thinking,
person, dude. Hell yeah. I would
mm,
be I'd be like want to become their bodyguard like for like Aiden Ross type shit. Like
literally
24/7,
bodyguard.
bro. 24/7. I'd be my eyes on that kid. Like I'd be scared. Yeah, I'd be tripped out.
Yeah, because considering this is a horrible world, and I've learned about, you know, basically I've experienced other human beings and how, how they operate, and
Yeah, me
I
too.
just I can't trust many human beings
Yeah.
because a lot of people are fake. Not all people are fake, but a lot of people are very fake.
It's a
So
survival tactic, honestly.
it's just better if I don't have children.
Yeah.
But
I
also
I hear that.
another reason is because
Okay.
I don't want to bring them into this world to become a wage slave.
To become what?
A wage slave.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I hear all these points and I'm agreeing with all these.
I'm glad we agree.
And that's more fear based, which I think that's where earlier in chat someone was talking like there is that part of the people that could probably handle it. Like they could probably get past all that fear and handle it. But I don't think I'm there yet.
Mm. And
Like, and I think we need people to at least keep humanity alive. Is that important? I don't know. Do we
not
want to?
really. It's not really important.
Exactly. It's kind of scary.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not.
does it matter?
It
But
doesn't.
I don't want people to suffer. And if we live on peace on Earth, then there's no suffering, and that means humanity prolongs until there's a cataclysm.
The thing is, this is how I see it. How I see it is, from my perspective, no one chose to exist, so I don't
Yeah,
want to gamble with someone else's life. That's how I see it.
it's fair. That's hella fair.
And that's
I
what it
will.
is. Literally, it's fair.
I'll get mad at my parents, and they'll be like trying to give me shit. I'm like, you really think I just chose to walk into this earth and knew what the fuck I was gonna do, and I was gonna be perfect, and I was gonna have it all figured out? Do you expect that? I ask them that, and they get mad. They're like, "Ah." I'm like, dude, you, I can't just, you can't assume I was gonna be a fucking perfect, fucking amazing, whatever.
That's their own. That's their own naivety.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like I did everything I could.
But also remember, right? You never chose to exist. It was your
As
parents
far
that
as we
chose.
know, unless they wiped our memory, yeah, you're right.
Mm. No, I don't believe that. People make that stuff up. I don't believe that.
No, I know. I've only had memories of it in dreams.
Because at
I've
the end
only
of
had
the
like
day,
reincarnation dreams.
at the end of the day, it was our parents that chose us to exist. It's not like we asked them.
Yeah. I
I
mean, I
know.
guess even if you were reincarnated, it would make someone else would have to give you the access to enter.
I know. Bonanno says thought provoker that is based. Wage slavery is a terrible fate to condemn someone to. I 1000% agree. Like, you got people complaining about wage slavery, and understandably so, myself included, yet those same people will have children just to then become wage slaves. It doesn't make sense. For example, my dad hates wage slavery, but it's like you had me to also hate wage slavery. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. I don't want to pass that on to a future child. No way.
Hello to the question mark who has just joined us.
Hello.
Hello, brother. Feel free to interject at any time.
Cool. I'm just hanging out.
Okay, bro. You know what to do. Talk when you want to. I'm just, guys, I'm sorry. I'm just taking a back seat, but I'm just in the middle of something, unfortunately. But I'll be with you in a bit.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I know, Banano, thanks for the compliment. Yeah, it is based. No one deserves to be a wage slave. So yeah.
But then there's families that have their whole wealth laid out for like 200 generations. Are those those are the people who are having kids, or those are the people in power?
From what I hear, there are people like richer people tend to not have kids,
Oh,
whereas a lot of poor people tend to have kids in
that's weird.
comparison.
You would hear like Genghis Khan had like what, 100,000?
Interesting. I'm not really familiar with Genghis Khan, but I've heard the name before.
Yeah. Apparently, he just inseminated like a million fucking people and had the biggest bloodline. It fucked up with DNA and all the shit, and then they were like rich tribal, like ruling the world at one point, or some region or something. It was like very weird. The people didn't like them. People were mad that this one family had so many people.
I see. Wow, man.
And then there's like the Limitless, um the Limitless series where they made the pill. They made a series off the movie, and one of the episodes they target all the people from Genghis Khan's DNA with a chemical spray. It's like a virus. It only attacks them. It only attacks those family. Like that's a smart ass concept. That if that exists in the world, they're just telling us that exists.
Wait, say that concept again.
They would have like a spray that was like a virus that would only attack the Genghis Khan's DNA bloodline. They would try to wipe him out from the world.
So they would have a spray that is a virus.
Yes.
That would wipe out Genghis Khan's DNA.
Yeah, it would only target certain DNA. Like, so it's just, I don't know if they're hinting at anything, but it was in the Limitless where they had the smart pill, the smart drug. They turned into a series, and I watched it like 8 times on shrooms and shit.
So what would they just spray Genghis Khan so he would die?
No, so like the first guy was targeted, and he had the DNA in his blood, and they targeted him at a coffee shop, and they sprayed aerosol in his coffee, like when he turned around.
Why were they trying to attack Genghis Khan's DNA?
That was what they were trying to figure out, and I don't know, someone didn't like something in history to do with them, and they waged war. It was a DNA facility that was like a corporation that made it.
Huh. So in
Weird.
short, someone probably didn't like him. Interesting.
Someone hinted at what's happening in Limitless, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, they could probably just do it to any sector, any DNA, anything.
You see, another reason why I won't have children, because you can't trust people when it comes to making your food or making your drink and stuff.
Chop. Yeah, I don't want to say the word. Never mind.
So Anno Banano says that's the only time I get angry about people who have kids is when they expect the kid to do all the work to keep existing, and the
Yeah,
adult
that part.
relieved of responsibility when kids
Yeah.
reach arbitrary age. The
Yeah.
thing is, right? If you're gonna if you're gonna have children that never chose to exist, make sure you raise them to be independent. And I say this, and I made a video about it. Make sure to raise them to be independent, because if you don't, remember, parents don't live forever. You know what I mean? Parents do not stay around forever. They will die at some point. So once the parents are dead, then those children are on their own to survive, to fend for themselves.
Yeah.
Now, if
So like,
if parents were immortal, then by all means, make sure you are always there for your children, because
wow.
you created them. So make sure you're there for them. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, there are parents that would have children and then they cannot wait to kick them out at the age of 18. Like, what kind of mindset is
I
that?
know that's a weird concept. It's like you've made enemies with your kid, and like you're ready to just like, hey, unless you didn't and you taught them, it's possible. But I
It's so
think
common.
a lot of them are probably forced out and they don't want to.
And it's like they didn't
Like
ask for
most,
this. They didn't ask to be in this situation.
yeah, they were like, dude, we got paid at school by food. We paid our teacher's wage by showing up. Like I did my part, and now
Mhm.
it's like, what? Now what happens? No, yeah, it's weird. I think it's kind of
I think
weird.
it's evil. It's evil.
It is. It's kind of weird. Especially
But
the tax on the land, like that's even weirder. Like your whole generation could have bought 200,000 acres, which at one point my generation in 1906 had 200,000 acres. My family bloodline. Long story, but it was a percent of California in the Central Valley, percentage of California, and
interesting.
it was all went to one family somehow. It's gone, but um, yeah, it was weird. Like they don't just let that shit slide. I don't know.
Oh, okay. But you say it's weird, and I agree. But I think it's also evil to kick your kids out at the age of 18.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it shows that you're not committed. It's like you had children, maybe because you wanted a baby because of how cute they were, but it's like they forget that babies don't stay babies forever, and so they grow
A
up into
lot of the time, that's how it
teenagers.
works with dogs. You get the puppy, you love the puppy. You get an older dog, it's smarter, it's wiser, and they don't like it.
Mm. It's like that's all
They
they
want
care
to be
about. Some of
dominant.
them. Some of them just care about the baby phase, and then they become teenagers, then adults, and it's like, okay, your cuteness, you've lost your cuteness. Now I can't stand you.
I would never feel that way. Like my cat alone, I grew up with her like sleeping on my chest when she was like this big. So
I
like
see.
she's like 4 years old now. She's the same thing to me, precious. I speak to her like she's my little baby, and I wake up every morning. I have to change her water, give her food, and it gives me motivation to do something at least,
Mm.
like
So let me
a
so let me
tiny
ask you
bit.
this. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you
So it's
this.
close to a kid, I guess. What?
Okay.
But it was more of an adoption, so that makes more sense than bringing one. You save one.
Mm. So
That's a
let me
little deeper aspect of that.
so so let me ask you this. What should parents charge their children rent?
No,
I
not at
agree.
all.
I agree. But why are you
They
creating a
should be
child?
having enough time if they're smart enough to build up what they're doing and not having to like have that tax on them so they can get ahead.
Mm. I
If you
agree.
teach
They
them that.
should.
If you teach them that. If they're just blowing it on booze and drugs, maybe they should pay rent, maybe to
But whose
balance out
fault is that though?
equilibrium. But
If they're just doing that, whose fault is that? Like, I think honestly, it's like this, right? Parents are responsible for their children in terms of how they turn out. That's how I see it.
90% or more, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so let's say some parents are aware that you
Maybe
can do
more.
your absolute best and they still may not come out how you want them to come out.
Yeah.
My thing is this: don't gamble. Just don't have children. If you're aware of
Yeah.
that risk and you choose to gamble,
Yeah, there should be some sort of understanding of every outcome of no matter what could happen and not be surprised by the outcome you didn't want, but you knew could happen.
But this is the
For
thing,
sure.
parents, they know that, they can do everything in their power, and somehow they don't get, the favored outcome of those children, like in terms of how they turn out. To keep it simple, they know that their children can come out a particular way, even though those parents don't want those children to come out that way. But they still choose to have those children, and then when they turn out bad, it's like, yeah, like you said, they act surprised, and it's like, come on, don't act surprised. You
Hey,
knew
one
what you were
second.
going to
My
say.
sister texts me. I'll be right
Oh
back.
yeah, okay, do your thing. Let's see. Anno Banano. Wait a minute. Let me read Patsy's. Patsy Klein says, when create a human being, you also impose on them death and going through the dying process. And we all know how terrible that has the capacity of being like, right, noted. Well said, Patsy. Who knows how painful the death will be in the future? Anno Banano says the parent needs to make it easier for the kid by letting them live at home as long as they need to in order to go to school. As long as the kid is working at least part time or doing school. I know someone whose parent doesn't help with medical bills. That wouldn't be a problem if the parent would have addressed the medical issue when the person was still a minor. I know Banana says, as long as the kid is using money wisely to become more independent. That is if the parents do a good job raising those children in the first place. Because some parents, they do a horrible job raising their children. They neglect them, abuse them, they don't teach them life skills, and then they when the kids reach 18, they're unprepared to move out, they're unprepared for life in general. But the parents have this mindset that, oh, you're 18 now, I'm no longer responsible. But it's like, just because you're no longer responsible for those children at the age of 18 does not mean you did a good job raising them. I'll say it again. Just because your children are now at the age of 18 does not mean you did a good job raising them, due to stuff like neglect, you know, not teaching them certain skills, essential skills in life, just not teaching them certain important things. For example, imagine having a child and neglecting them to the point where they can't even talk, and then they turn 18 and they say, oh, well, you're on your own now. Like, that's evil.
I don't think that happens much, though, does it?
Regardless, my point still stands. It's just an
Right.
example.
Hello to the question mark. What's going on, brother?
Not much. Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, not much as well. Somebody has just joined. Let me just see who it is. Oh, it's Anno. Anno Banana.
Hey, I just wanted to hear what the thought provoker was saying. Unfortunately, whatever he started to say, I missed some of it when I was trying to connect.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just saying that certain parents, they neglect their children. They don't teach them certain, life skills. There's just certain things they don't teach their children, and then when those children reach 18, some of these parents are like, well, you're 18, I'm no longer responsible for you, you're on your own now. And I'm like, just because they've now reached the age of 18 does not mean you've done a good job raising them.
They probably haven't, thought provoker, but on the other side of it, right? If they haven't been good parents, they haven't taught their children stuff, and they get to the age of 18 and they don't know their ass from their elbow. Well, it's probably better that that kid does leave home and makes its own way, because the parents aren't doing it justice. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm saying, but the parents haven't done them any justice. What I'm saying is, some parents have this
I know
mindset.
that, but I'm just saying, in your example, there would be no point in that person staying at home, because it sounds like it is detrimental to their development.
I see your point, So would you suggest that they go to?
So it's a kind of paradox, is what I'm saying to you.
No, I understand. Like, if it's been 18 years and you still haven't done a good job raising them, then yeah, you got a point, DNW. There's no point in them being in that home. The question is, where would they go?
I mean, listen, they'll go out into the big bad world and they'll sink or swim. Now, the problem is, it is brutal, but still, it's better probably than staying at home with those parents, you know?
See, now it
We lost
seems likely-
Isaac. Hopefully, Isaac will come back.
He'll be back. But with that being said, now let's say if they do move out at the age of 18 after being neglected and not taught, independence by their parents, now it seems likely that they're gonna be basically they didn't have that guidance, so once they move out, they're probably gonna be, robbing and just doing crime in general, I'm not saying that's a guarantee. I'm not saying that's a guarantee.
I don't know about that. You depends
No, it's
on
possible.
the person, though. It's possible, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose it's statistically more likely, perhaps.
Right. That's why I said it seems likely that because they have no guidance, they have no guidance, so they might end up, doing crime. Not saying that's a guarantee, but it's likely.
Guys, they'll be on in a few minutes. That's good. Hello to Pamela
Cool.
as well. She's in the chat.
See, that's
Cool.
what I get actually angry about. It's not even antinatalism because I can get over that. Like, I know normal people want to do that, but like, when they don't care, like they just want to be done with it when the kid turns 18. That just seems selfish to me.
It's very selfish. Very selfish. It's like it shows you're not committed.
They just did it for like either because they didn't care that like they didn't care what would happen, or they wanted the fun baby stage and didn't care what happened after that.
You know what it is? It's some people just lack impulse control. Like they don't think long term. They just think, "Oh, I want a baby," and they don't think about how it's gonna be like in the long run.
That's the only reason I get mad about like government incentives, because I should be glad that they're gonna help pay, because if the kid is born, then a financial incentive would be good for the kid. But it kind of makes me mad that it's considered that they're doing like a selfless, heroic act, and yet people that were brought into the world, if they don't choose to procreate, they don't get no help at all.
Interesting. Yeah, this thing of selfless, like when parents say, when parents basically act like they've done you a favor by having you, I think is ridiculous, because I'm like, no, you didn't do your children a favor by having them. I'm not saying this to be spiteful. It's just the truth. You didn't do your children a favor by, creating them into existence. You did yourselves a favor. That's just the reality.
Well, here's the weird part. I'm not trying to be bitter and resentful, but I don't know if that is abnormal or normal the way I feel. But when they start talking about having government incentives, like for people to become parents, to me that seems wrong, because it seems like it's rewarding, like a behavior that would be kind of selfish, and then the child that is born is left to fend for itself.
Do you think it's good for the state, though?
What?
Do you think it's good for the state or the government?
Yeah, obviously.
Well, that's why.
But it's also because of the way society is organized. I don't think we actually necessarily need more people in order to stay productive. Because, like, after the Black Death, for example, I heard people got paid more because there was less competition between unskilled laborers. There was less of us available, so we got paid more.
Hey, DNW.
Yes, sir.
Out of respect, may I have your permission to promote my channel?
Of course.
How's it going, everyone? This is the Thought Provoker, and if you're watching this right now, feel free to check out my channel, the Thought Provoker. And if you like my videos, you may subscribe. And yeah, I just tell the truth about reality, and they are very, very truthful, very raw, straight to the point. And yes, check out my channel, and I hope you enjoy and subscribe. Thank you very much, DNW.
No, you're welcome. It's good that you do have your shows going, and wish you all the best with them,
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, I thought I'd ask for your permission because I don't want to, take liberties.
No, that's fine, brother.
Mhm.
So Gaia said he'd come on. No Name said that they spent the day lifting heavy shit and cleaning out the old man's shed. He said it felt good to switch the mind off for a few hours, and they would recommend it every now and then to all researching these heavy topics. Yeah.
Can I ask Anno Banana a question?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
What's
Okay.
the question?
Should parents be charging their children rent? Sorry, excuse
No, but they could charge like a fake rent that is actually invested back into the kids later. I would only have
me.
mercy if someone was really poor and they had a kid and realized that it wasn't like the
You
best
know what?
choice, and then now they're in a bad situation, but they shouldn't be taking anything more than they need. They should
Mhm.
be like living in a communal lifestyle.
Interesting. I think we agree. Like, no parent should be charging their children rent, but unless, of course, if they want, they can charge their children rent, but give that money back. Basically, like let the money accumulate, and then once the children are ready to move out, just give all that money back to the children. That I don't mind. I'm open to that.
Yes.
Apart from that, they shouldn't charge their children rent. Period. But
That's
how
where I
can
draw
you?
the line. That's where I don't think we should hold back our criticism.
And you know what? The children, right, of those parents are made to feel guilty or like they're in the wrong for not contributing to the household. And it's like, hold on, excuse me, let me be. Excuse me. Oh yeah, as I was saying, yeah, children of parents are basically made to feel like they're in the wrong, like they're the bad people for not paying rent. It's like they didn't choose to be here. It's the equivalent of, I know, for example, right? Let's say I decided I want to buy an iPhone 15, and then I decide, you know what? I'm gonna get this iPhone 15 contract, and I'm gonna put your name on it so that you end up paying monthly for this iPhone 15 contract. Do you think that would be fair on you?
No.
It wouldn't be fair on you simply because you didn't sign up for that. You didn't ask for your name to be put on this iPhone 15 contract, you know? It's not fair that you have to pay for it. But you see, it's an analogy relating to parents creating children into existence. Those children never signed up for existence, just like you never signed up to pay for that iPhone 15 contract.
I've been saying that for a long time, but I think a lot of people seem to think it's like mentally ill or like bitter or grandiose to think that. I don't really
You know what?
think so.
It just shows their mentality. They can't address a particular point. They're just too emotional. They're too in their feelings. All they can do is ad hominems. That's all they can do.
And there's the whole thing about when you're a kid, parents are your world. So most people always kind of have this worship thing for their parents to where if they think anything bad about them, it makes them feel guilty or like that they've committed like
Say that last part again, please.
sacrilege. Like when most people when they're young, the parents are the whole world to them. So it's like something we learn young that like parents are to be worshipped and never criticized.
Interesting. Interesting. It's like how God, if there is a God, created all human beings just to worship God. Like, that's a bit bizarre to me. It sounds narcissistic. Like creating human beings just to worship you. What are your thoughts on that, Anna? Like a deity creating human beings just to worship him. She'll be back.
Yeah, it's narcissistic, and it's like if God is completely self-sufficient, why does he need people to worship?
Exactly. Why does he need people at all? He didn't need to create anybody. Why do you think God created people? Period.
That's one of those impossible questions. Like, why did something come from nothing?
Fair enough. But why do you think?
I don't have a hypothesis.
Fair enough. I'm just gonna say this to anyone who is a parent watching this right now. Like, if you're a parent, if you already have children, just be the best parent you can be. That's my advice to you. I don't wish anything ill towards you. Not at all. Just be the best parents you can be. Raise your children to be independent, because you will not be around forever. Huh. Is that an air conditioner?
Oh yeah, it's probably my AC.
Yo,
Like
what?
that's probably my AC. I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment. The thing blows like a fucking wind tunnel.
I see.
Here,
Noted.
I'll just mute myself when I'm not talking.
All right. So, can I call you GTS? GTS. Oh wow, that sounds cool. GTS. It's like go to sleep. Can I call you GTS? He'll be back.
Gaia.
Who are you referencing? Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaia.
GTS? Yeah, you could call me GTS. I don't give a crap. Go for it.
Cool. So, hey, do you want children in the future? And you can say prefer not to say.
No, I'm on one of those things. I'm on the whole, I'm going with the flow, the universe. If it happens, if it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Okay.
I'm more leaning toward the side of not, but at the same time, I also recognize the systemic things at play here. It hit me the other day realizing that, oh my God, Trump is such a fucking maniac that I might literally have kids I don't want because of him. And at that point, is it the parents that are at fault, or is it the fucking government or society or who? It's such a complicated fucking situation that we're in right now when it comes to that question.
I would say it's the parents, in the sense that they are aware, depending on the parent, they are aware and have thought about the risk. Like, they're aware of the risk of how their children may turn out, and they decided to take the gamble. So they can't act surprised, if those children turn out to be, someone that those parents hate, if that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying. My mom's an empath, and like I started mentioning the antinatalism to her a few years ago and stuff, and we have a really close relationship, and to the point where she was actually going, "Okay, I get where you're coming from. I don't exactly agree, but I get where you're coming from." And we were able to actually have healthy communications. Meanwhile, my dad is a fucking narcissist, and a few years ago, he's a multimillionaire, and a few years ago he didn't want to help out paying an extra $100 a month of rent. So I got put in a fucking RV for a couple years, and there was a bad snowstorm, and I was asking him to fix the heat, and he came over, and instead of fixing the heat, he came over and started practically sobbing in front of my RV, going, "I want you to have a job. I want to be able to retire and all these things," and I'm just like
This is
completely
ridiculous.
bewildered at this
I'm
fucking pathetic man that can't even help his kids out, begging his kids to get a job in a market that's non-existent to make money for a multimillionaire, and I literally told him, I'm like, well, you should have thought about that before you had kids. You should have wrapped it up. And it threw him for a shock, and he's never bitched about shit like that again ever since I told him that. I'm like,
wow.
I just told him straight up, I'm like, if you are that damn naive and just expecting your kids to just perpetuate all this hellish existence just to make it a little easier on you, like that's not right. I called him
Yeah,
out on that big, and yep. So it's a fascinating thing. Everybody has their own perspectives. Everybody has their own awareness.
I don't understand, because first of all, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Your dad does sound like a narcissist. Like, you're a multi-millionaire, and you choose to have children who never chose to exist in the first place. That was your decision. and you don't want to help them out, and you leave them in the cold, like, and whatnot. What was the point? It makes me wonder, what was the point of having children in the first place? Why did he have children? Do you know the answer? Why did he have children?
I think it's just part of his narcissism, because he's always been, even when he wasn't a narcissist, he was an egoist. He's never been able to actually humble himself. My entire life I've known him, he's always been either an egoist who you can sort of have in your life, or a narcissist who you don't want to touch with the 10-foot pole.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. But I also think it just shows the complexity of fucking capitalism too, you know, because it's just fucking damn, I lost my train of thought. Maybe it'll come back to me.
But I will say this, yeah, just I know this sounds simple and whatnot, stating the obvious, but I need to say it because people don't think about this stuff. But you have so much money in the world, and you decide to have children just to then tell them, oh, get a job, this and that. It's like, just don't have the child in the first place. Just live your life, go to the beach and whatnot. Don't bring someone else into this world and then tell them, oh, do this, do that. It's like, they didn't ask to be here. Just don't have them in the first place. You get what I'm saying?
Why do people say that's whiny to think that? I think that's just principled.
People say it's whiny. People are just they know what we're saying is true. It's just, again, emotions over logic.
A lot of people just got lucky too and happen to be well functioning, and they think if they can do, then anyone else could just as easily.
I want to mention
Anna just hit the fucking nail on the pin on the nail, man. Because that's what my fucking dad does, you know? He's a fucking stupid narcissist that's a multimillionaire. And you often hear about that saying, how the geniuses have the hardest time making money and the stupid people have the easiest time. And there's some level of fucking logic to that. Because, okay, here my dad won't pay an extra, $100 a month on fucking rent, but he spends $50,000 on a 30-year-old broken RV.
Wow.
And he's a financial manager for elderly people. I know. I always laugh at all the irony. I'm like, I pity any of these old people that trust my father with his finances. I don't care if you do make money from my father. I still pity you working with him and dealing with that situation.
Is he even bothered to teach you how to get? Is he even bothered to teach you how to become like a millionaire?
Oh, he hasn't even taught me how to shave.
He hasn't even taught you how to what?
He's never even taught me how to shave.
Oh wow! So he sounds neglectful.
Oh, he's extremely neglectful. No, that's where, you know.
I don't think he should teach you how to shave, but I think, you know, the £50,000 RV it's questionable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. Having a child just to not to neglect them, not even support them financially. It's like, why even have the child? Just don't have the child.
Well, it's a big thing relating to the reactivity of the narcissistic ego, whether it's just an ego in general of egoism or the narcissist ego.
I'm a piece
Because
of shit.
What?
What'd you say, Pamela?
100. I have 3 children. I'm a piece of shit. Absolutely hate it.
Wait. Do you plan to have any more children?
Fuck no. What kind of disgusting question?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, come on, man. Move on.
No, hey, that's good.
3 children is big enough. Don't.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, I get it. No, hey, welcome to the club. Yeah.
Nice.
There are sayings like, there's one and done is when someone has one child and they're done, one and done. What is the other saying for like when you have two?
Yeah, I keep it as that.
Is it two and through?
If I was a man, I'd go for a woman that I'd probably go for a woman that had one child that didn't have, because yeah, shut the fuck up, Pam. All right, I'm listening.
So there's that phrase called one and done. Is basically it applies to parents who have one child and then they're done. They're not gonna have another child again. That's one and done. There's another one. It's called two and what? Is it two and through? I'd have to double check. But are you guys familiar with these phrases when it comes to the amount of children parents have?
I've never heard that phrase. The only sort of natalist phrase I've used with 2 kids is the whole.
Wait, Pamela, hold on. Go on, Gaia.
Yeah, no, the only phrase I'm sort of familiar with is sort of the natalist saying, when it comes to two children of the whole, well, I don't want my kid to be lonely, or I want my kid to have a friend.
Yeah,
I've
or
heard that
sister.
saying so many times when it comes to having two kids.
So do you think? Wait, are you the last born?
I'm the first child, and I have a younger sister. So
Interesting.
just two children in my family.
Did you just say that? It's like, was that a TP? It's like,
What did you say, Pamela? I didn't quite hear that. Say that again.
I didn't say nothing.
I just heard TP, and then you were like,
Yeah, it's because you like sometimes. I told you about your vocal cords, and it's so nice sometimes, isn't it?
All right.
Do your
Thank you.
thing.
Pamela, I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, GTS.
Yeah.
Are you going to break the cycle? Are you going to decide to not have children? Oh wait, you said earlier you're gonna go with the flow.
Yeah.
So okay, so you say you're gonna go with the flow. Cool. So let me point out, I'm not here to tell you what to do. You are gonna go with the flow, but whilst we're here, I like to tell people, some points for them to think about whilst they're going with the flow, just to take into consideration.
How do you fucking use it?
Say that again, Pamela.
Nothing. How do you mute it? Hold on.
So GTS, yeah. So here's some points to think about whilst you're, yeah. So one thing to consider is, first of all, do you think the average human being enjoys wage slavery?
Oh, fuck no. But
I would say most people hate.
Yeah, no, that's a complicated one because I don't think anybody necessarily loves it, but except maybe somebody that's deluded into that system, that is so into that capitalistic dogma that they, end up going down the dark rabbit hole that leads them nowhere.
Just it's a scam. It's a scam. Like
Yeah.
Most people are wage slaves. Even people who run businesses are technically wage slaves. It's just some wage slaves are more comfortable than others.
Oh no, that's where capitalism is so linked to all this shit, The last time I saw my fucking dad, he was couldn't get off his phone. He looked like some TikTok child, but he was looking at fucking cryptocurrency exchanges. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Talk about volatile capitalism.
What's up, Pamela?
TP.
I'm listening.
Because if he death is gonna be existence. I mean, there's loads of things that can go with it, but it's usually existence.
You said what goes with existence?
Well, you cause a death. What do you think is gonna go with it?
Oh no, I just didn't hear you. But okay, yeah. Yeah, once you exist, then death comes.
I'm not being funny, bro. Well, what do you think is gonna go with it? Well, you have to have something.
Yeah. What do you think is gonna happen after that?
What do you mean? You don't think we're dead now, or then to become alive?
I think that once
I didn't realize about death. Death like that.
I think once we die,
nothing.
Yeah, I think that's it. If I'm honest, but I'm not saying it's a guarantee. No one knows, but
No.
But I used to be of that oblivion mindset big time.
Just because you're dead doesn't mean you don't need to use a bar of soap and keep yourself clean. Honestly, the kind of death I've seen, you still need a bar of soap, water, and all of that stuff. Keep yourself clean, for sure.
911, what is your emergency?
Well, it's to keep yourself clean.
Pamela sounds like she's on the role of wipe your ass to keep yourself spiritually clean. That's fucking funny.
By the way, if you're gonna wipe your ass, make sure you use water as well.
God damn.
Hey, Pamela.
Morning.
Yeah.
Do you notice that there are 3 British people on this panel right now?
Warning.
Good stuff. Who just laughed out loud? Was that someone from America that's all by themselves?
No idea what this. Wow.
How's about let's be fucking like, you know, honest and, you know, at our age at the moment. How's about that?
Whoa, too loud.
Yeah, damn.
Damn.
What is these
Not
awful
very
sounds
healthy,
for?
is it? I've got a PhD and a fucking master's degree. Who gives a fuck? To be
I got a
fair, in this
PhD, a poser
existence,
hating
it
degree.
doesn't mean shit, does it?
A poser hating degree, man.
Hey, GTS, here's another thing to consider. All right. So another thing to consider is this. If when it comes to considering, having children, remember that it's a gamble with someone else's life.
Oh, totally. No, I'm deeply fucking aware of that one. That's where if I
Mhm.
ever do have kids, I'll
Excuse
know
me?
right off the bat. Okay, I'm being a hypocrite, but at least I'm being an honest hypocrite. You know?
Yeah, no, I understand. But here's the thing. So let's say, and this is just to prepare in case you do have children. If, right, considering that it's a gamble with someone else's life, if you decide to have children and then they grow up and then they, you know, they decide that, you know what, I wish I never existed, and they're extremely depressed and they no longer want to be alive anymore. My question is, and just work with me, what obviously I'm not saying right now what to do, but just for the sake of conversation, just to provoke your thoughts, what are you going to do in that situation? Let's say your kid grows up to be an adult and says, I wish I never existed, I'm extremely depressed. What would you do?
Well, the first thing I would do is I would get ahead of that situation by, thinking about that question before I ever have kids, which is something I'm doing, which is, and that's where, I'd be studying therapy and child development and all sorts of shit before I even had kids, because,
Oh,
I went through that exact, fucking hell on earth for over a decade. So, even though I might not be as absolutist as some anti-natalist, I'm actually maybe more cautious than some anti-natalists because I've actually gone through this hell and I don't want to, submit that onto any other sentient being, and that's where
fair.
if the gamble didn't work, I'd want to make sure that I was there to fucking, stack the deck,
Oh, okay. So
I wish more people were like that, and I wouldn't be angry at all.
Yep.
mhm. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's a reality. It's a reality
Just me a
that
band of
it's a
do
reality.
not want.
Huh? Anyway, it's a reality.
Oh, oh,
Okay.
can I have a cup of tea to go with it? 2 sugars.
Man, I
What is all
remember when
this
you
loud
Brits actually
sounds
drank
for?
good tea. What's up with that? Why ain't you drinking good tea anymore?
Just give me a moment, Pamela. Give me a moment. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, the reason I brought up what I brought up earlier about them being depressed, once you have children and they say they wish they never existed, is because that is actually a reality that we live in, where some people in life, if not many people, they wish they never existed, given that they never chose existence in the first place. So now, no matter what the parent does to make that their children feel better, they're in a state where nothing is working. So the last resort, unfortunately, is for them to get euthanized, respectfully. And unfortunately, for some people, euthanasia in most countries is illegal. So that's something you got to consider. To
Yep. No,
basically something you got to be mindful of.
I'm being aware of all this shit. My fucking grandfather just passed away a month or two ago, and
Wait, who passed away?
my grandfather passed away just a month or two ago,
May
and
he rest in peace.
Yeah, and it was really difficult going through that process because my aunt was trying to keep him here as long as possible. My mom was trying to speed him along things, and just the whole dynamics, realizing, how, how fucked the whole situation is. I'm going, damn, this dude should have had more fucking control over his end of life and not had family be fucking, dictating all of his terms exiting because of, their own internal, worldviews. It's like, this is his fucking journey. He should have the fucking, all the power to it. So it made me way more aware on, not just having kids, but the end of life on the other side of things too. That we really need to look at children through the entire continuum of our age span. A 99-year-old person is still a child. We need to expand our outlook.
You know what that makes me think of on a side note is I think that people, if you aren't happy, you should be allowed to sell your organs in advance and when you get euthanized, and then you can donate all the money to your loved ones as a gift.
Ooh, I like the idealism, but that scares the fuck living shit out of me just because of how sketch the organ trade is in the world right now. Like, have you heard of the
But maybe
execution
it would
vans
be
in
less
China?
sketchy.
Have you heard of the execution vans in China?
No.
They have literally roaming execution vans in China, like the ones that the Nazis had. They load up some random stranger, fucking pump in, IV drugs that stop their heart, and they literally have built-in cremation fucking ovens in the vans.
Are you sure about
And
that?
yeah, no, that you could look it up online. And what's happening is that they're organ harvesting homeless Chinese people and minorities
Are
and all
you
this.
sure about that?
I could double check. I will double check actually. But last time I checked a few different times. That this
Yeah.
was a thing online. With documentation and
Right.
whatnot. And it's just a terrifying fucking reality that this may be happening. Because even if it's not happening, it's something that we should be. Like 1984, we should be thinking about these things to make sure that this isn't the future that we're heading in.
But ironically, that would decrease the demand for organs that are illegal if there was more legal organs available that people willingly gave away, or more people just signed up to be an organ donor, not even just
No,
getting
I totally
euthanized.
get where you're coming from, the idealism. But here, let me give a better example. I know I've heard some stories where some young, healthy, depressed, 20-year-olds have been put on hospice and been told by the state that their only option for healthcare is euthanasia. And it's like,
Yeah, they
okay,
have
this
that
is
here,
yeah, and it's
unfortunately.
like that's not the way things should be. It's like we should have compassionate for end of life choices and euthanasia and stuff. But that's getting into the thanatopolitics, the politics of death and making money out of people. That there's some bean pusher, somebody somewhere, going, okay, this 20-year-old gets off by the state and we make money.
Yeah, it's happening in Canada,
Yep.
unfortunately.
That's where it's like we need to, reach toward these progressive ideals without collapsing into these, fucked up, dynamics of humanity.
Yeah.
I can't trust anyone with my organs.
I feel you with that. No, I don't even trust anyone with my body. I used to be the whole donating the body to science, but have you seen those things? My God, just some of there's like no fucking standardization. You think donating your body to science means that you're going to be like a cadaver for some medical students or something, but no, they could fucking do anything with the donating your body to science. I don't remember the exact specifics, but there were a lot of fucked up examples, where they could just. I think one of them was actually that museum where they have those living muscular skeletons, where they have those corpses that they have all the flesh removed and you could see all the muscles, and then they put plastic, all over the muscles to keep these corpses looking fresh and they never decay. It's like that kind of thing. They could literally end up using your body for science and turning it into fucking public art, and it's like. Fuck! I don't know how I want some more clear cut lines.
I think they should cut me a deal like that as long as I don't have to pay for life insurance or a funeral, because to me that's a scam that you have to pay to have a green burial or a cremation, and I don't want to pay to die. That's stupid.
Oh, I feel you with that. I already told all my family that if I ever unexpectedly die, you fucking load my corpse up in the fucking truck, grab a fuck ton of ice, and drive me out to a national park, dump my ass in the middle of fucking nowhere.
They'll be charged with mishandling of a corpse.
Yeah, but then they'll fucking sue the state for violating the deceased religious beliefs. It'll be a whole shit show. I
Can
don't
I
think
ask you?
I
That would
think
be
they will
funny,
avoid the
especially
shit
if you
show.
wrote that in your will, like you had a will made.
Yep.
Can I ask you a question? So Gaia, uh, do you think that people should have the right to get euthanized? Respectfully.
Yeah, no, I definitely think they have the right to get euthanized. I think it's one of those things though that shouldn't be pushed on anybody. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is that it's being pushed on somebody, then that's extremely unethical. But like fuck, if there was some fucking 20-year-old that's healthy and not mentally ill, but they just needed to end themselves. I'm an existentialist philosopher. And that's who I was growing up. Even though I've moved beyond that, there's still an existentialist in me that says, okay, that is you being 100% authentic, you listening to your soul, and none of us should fucking judge you or have a say in that.
The way I see it is, given that people never chose to exist, I think it's only fair that they have the right to no longer exist, if they choose.
Yep.
I'm
Well,
saying it in the name of
I
fairness.
think the postmodernist world is heading in that direction.
Well,
Because it's just getting to the point where it's so fucking stressful and depressing to so many people where they're then gonna get to a point where they're gonna sort of go like, all right, are we gonna let these people off themselves, or are we gonna have these people turn into domestic terrorists or something, and the government's gonna be like, okay, no, we don't need more fucking shit on our plate, we already have enough of these domestic groups and shit and fucking militias and cults, like we got enough on our plate.
So why do you think that they made euthanasia illegal in most countries, in your opinion?
It's because economic output, man. I mean, how do you keep the capitalistic system, keeping the 1% all happy and fucking on their fucking castles and shit without all the fucking poor people doing everything for them?
I knew you.
The kings did. The kings weren't doing masonry on their own castles.
I knew you would say that, and you're right. At least
Yep.
that's what I think. I made a video about that as well. I was like, yeah,
Eat
the reason
the
why.
rich.
Yeah,
That's where I'm starting to just, I still like to, think about antinatalist, philosophies, but I like to sort of expand the scope and not just expand, but sort of, shift the energy, the focus, now
yeah,
I'm
that's
going,
fine.
okay, maybe let's focus less on the antinatalism and more on the anti-capitalism, because if we could kill capitalism, then we can give birth to babies, you know what I mean? It's going to be a little bit easier.
I
This
hear
is
you.
all that I wanted was stuff like this online where people would just say some of the bad stuff about the world. Because to me, I don't like hate people, but I hate the fact that they want to create more people and only reward people who choose to do that without helping the people that are born, unless those people also create more people. It's just what the fuck.
You know what? And I think one could say that the government is incentivizing people to have children, even people who don't want children, but then realize, oh right, I can get paid to have children.
Right?
But
No,
won't they? But that's like really wrong because if you're not fit to be a parent, then the child will be traumatized, and that's one reason I didn't have a kid because I don't know that I'm fit to be a parent. So isn't that a good decision? They should
Right.
reward like.
I get
Yeah.
where you're coming from, provoker, because that's where I've been seeing, these. There was a recent school shooting in America that was averted, and they stopped it from happening, and they charged the parents with aiding and abetting terrorism. And I thought that was interesting how they're starting to do that more and more with these parents, whether the kid actually committed an act of terror or whether the kid, never actually committed the act of terror. These parents are being charged, and I keep going, okay, I get the point that these parents need to have some level of accountability, but doesn't the state also need to have some level of accountability? Like you said, thought provider, the state is actively incentivizing these people to have kids,
Yeah.
So where the
Yeah.
hell is the responsibility on the state for this?
Well said. Pamela, my fellow Brit, Pamela, show yourself, madam. She's probably watching some stuff. Anyway, uh, I don't know if I've asked you this question, GTS, but should parents charge their children rent?
Oh hell no, no, that's
Oh, I think I
fucked
asked
up.
you that. Did I ask you that? I think I did.
I don't remember if you did or not, but either way, fuck no.
You know what? I think I remember that because I
I
remember
think you did say it though. Yeah, I
yeah,
think
and
you did
you were
ask.
like, hell no. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's just so ridiculous. I've given this
Yeah.
example, but I'll give it again. It's like if I put your name GTS right
Yep.
on an iPhone 15. It doesn't even have any phone. Let me just say phone contract to make things simple. It's like if I put your name GTS on a phone contract for me, right? And now
Yep.
you are responsible for paying that, monthly. It's not
Yeah.
fair to you because you didn't sign
No,
up for it.
it's like a form of identity theft in a way.
Yeah, but the reason I'm
Oh,
saying
gosh,
this is
that's
because it's an
crazy.
analogy for people creating children into existence. So basically, in the same way that you and I never chose to exist, you never chose to pay monthly for this phone contract.
Yep.
And in this
Can I hear
analogy,
somebody
I'm
that
basically the
sounds
parent.
like fucking like, balanced? Fuck that.
What did you say, Pamela?
That's not fair. Because every time I speak, it sounds like everything that I just said.
Guys, can you hear her properly?
No, I'm not. It's not that clear. Lots of echo.
It sounded your voice could go wrong.
It sounded like something can go wrong. That's what I heard.
And it happened to me. It's happening now.
I see. Oh, here's another.
You made me think of something interesting or in regard to that, you making the child pay rent, because I had a friend that their parents made him pay rent, but they didn't only make him pay rent, they made him take care of the child care. They would leave and make him babysit the rest of the fucking family. And I was just realizing that he now has fucking 3 kids of his own, and he takes care of 2 stepkids
Is
that
this
he's has custody of. So he's taking care of fucking 5 kids now.
No, is
He
GTS
doesn't
speaking?
smoke. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do anything like that.
Yeah, I don't drink, smoke, nor
Yeah.
nothing. But
For sure.
But 1 second, Pamela, I'll get to you. Go on GTS.
Oh, I lost my train of thought. I think I already said it and then it escaped me.
You lose your train of thought a lot. I feel bad for you.
In his defense, he did get cough. But you were basically saying about your friend who.
Oh yeah, that I had this friend that his
Yeah.
parents made him pay rent, but not only that, they made him take care of the kids. Like whenever they went on a date night or wanted to go, anywhere, they'd
So
make
his siblings.
Yeah, so he'd have to take care of his siblings, and I just realized now, as an adult, he has 2 or 3 biological kids of his own and 2 children that he has custody over. So he's taking care of 5 children now as an adult, and I'm just wondering, did his parents forcing him to take care of his children, his siblings, somehow encourage him to have more kids of his own?
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting. Yeah, it's not right. Like, you can't be making your children look after their siblings, like their parent. Like, do your job. What's up, Pamela? What's up?
Would you date a woman that's something that is the opposition of what you would ever sort of? Well, I don't want a woman that drinks. I don't want a woman that smokes. And I don't want a woman that's not my ideal.
So what are you asking? Oh, there's 2 of you.
I just asked you.
I mean, I'm little. Okay, so what is basically? I think you're asking me what is my deal breaker. Is that what you're asking me?
I heard you, deal breaker. I just want to hear if you would.
If I would what?
Go against you, deal breaker.
Is what a deal breaker? What? You're not very clear. I'm sorry. Pamela, could you ask the question again, please? It's not very clear. You ask.
The question is,
Yes.
why does it keep repeating back?
Maybe
All right, there's
you have
something wrong
YouTube
with
and
my phone now,
Pamela.
and it's
You
not
probably
very nice. It's really awkward.
Pamela. You probably have
Ew.
YouTube playing in the background. You have to turn off YouTube.
Yeah. Guys. Oh no! Stop talking, because every time I talk,
Have you turned off YouTube in the background?
have you ever thought you might like a woman?
Have I ever thought that I might
That's
like
not
a
your
woman?
cup of tea.
That's not my cup of tea. Glad you're having fun. Anno, you there?
Yes.
What is a deal breaker for you in terms of, like, in the context of
You don't
relationships?
get
What?
anything. You get anything.
I don't really know, and I don't think about
Anything.
that because I'm married happily for 10 years. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess if they wanted kids, that would be a
Damn.
deal breaker. But
Good one.
yeah.
Good one. GTS, what is a
TP,
deal breaker?
you don't even give me an answer. God damn.
What did you say, Pamela?
You didn't even give me an answer. You just moved on.
Yeah, but
Where's
what
my
is your
answer?
question? Yeah, but I don't. You're not. Your question's not very clear.
Oh, clearly you moved on.
GTS, did you hear
All
her?
right, I'll look
Did
for
you
it.
understand her question?
No, it feels like she's on track B and we're on track A. Like the tapes are, the not lining up.
Yeah, like Pamela, what you would do is you would ask a question, but you wouldn't finish. You'd leave like a 5-second pause, and then you would say something else. I don't know. It's not very clear. So try one more time. What
On that
question would you?
occasion, you didn't leave a 5-second pause. You could piss off. It was a full question.
Even GTS didn't hear. Like, even GTS thought your question wasn't very clear. Respectfully. So yeah,
Fuck that.
just ask it one more time.
Well, you're gonna have to lift my leg up. You're gonna have to lift my leg up while you ask
I'm
it.
gonna have to live with what?
Lift my leg up.
GTS did. Okay, never mind.
I
Anyway,
don't know. Maybe
GTS.
she's saying, well, if you find yourself in a relationship with somebody that's not your cup of tea, you're still stuck with them. That kind of thing. That's what I was getting out of it.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
would I be in a relationship with someone who isn't my cup of tea? No. Would you,
I want
GTS?
somebody that is like TP, where he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do anything of that. It's like, oh, I want some of that.
I see. All right. Hey, I take that as a compliment. Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate that. GTS, what is a deal breaker for you?
My first instinct is probably hypocrisy. That's always gotten to me. Being an existentialist philosopher, I've always been about being the authentic self. So even if somebody's not is unintentionally being a hypocrite out of their own naivety, that hypocrisy just drives me insane.
Fair enough. Good answer. For me,
And that's why
probably
I'm always at war with myself.
did you say that's why you're always at war with yourself?
Yes.
I see. But could you elaborate? Why would you say you're always at war with yourself, like regarding the hypocrisy?
I can't really ever just act decisively because I think of how my actions are hypocritical.
Oh right, I see.
Oh right, I see.
So what, you just like
So what, you
overthink
just like
and are
overthink and
overly critical of
are
yourself?
overly critical of yourself?
Can I tell you about?
Yes, but I started
Yes,
glitching
but I
out and
started
hearing echoes.
glitching out and hearing echoes.
Who's echoing?
No,
I
Who's
think
echoing?
Pamela has YouTube on.
Her microphone is picking up the audio.
Ah,
It's gone
fuck
now.
Kamala. What about everyone else?
Okay. For me, a deal breaker. Yeah, I've already said my deal breaker. So, what is another deal breaker of mine? If she has, oh boy. To anyone watching, I mean this respectfully. This is no jab.
Whoever's speaking right now sounds sexy than fuck.
Did she say my voice is sexy as fuck? If so, hey, I appreciate that. Anyway, all right. She either said it was sexy as fuck, or she's saying she doesn't give a fuck. Anyway, so
Now
as
I'm
I
gonna
said,
meet you.
okay.
Damn.
What is my what is my other deal breaker? I would say, what is it? If, and I say this disclaimer, this is not a jab, it's just a personal preference, but if you have tattoos, like I prefer a woman like without tattoos, as I myself don't have tattoos.
do you
If
think
that
it's more
makes
about
sense.
the tattoos or the meaning behind the tattoos? Because I know there's some people that place a lot of meaning behind their tattoos, and then there's some people that don't give a shit about their skin and they just mark it up like a fucking billboard.
Well, for me,
Suck my pussy
I would
like it's
say
no tomorrow.
I would say it doesn't matter meaning
But
by
I
me.
can't suck your
I
dick.
would prefer to see no tattoos, like no prints on her body, just flat out no tattoos.
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
We all got our own perspectives.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just a preference. Yeah. Like I don't have tattoos. I want a woman with no tattoos. Like I just want to see like straight up just skin, nothing.
Yep. I always find
It's
that a
like
fascinating
a plain
question
book.
because
It's like
I
a plain book.
myself have one tattoo. I had a spinal surgery when I was 16 years old, had my entire spine fused. And after that, I had a tattoo over the scar of my spine that basically looks like the x-ray of my spine. So you can see all the nuts and bolts and all the, inner gear that's fused to my spine. So
Wait,
it's
wait. Let me see if I'm following. So at the age of 16, you had your spine what?
Do not
fused.
watch. It's
I had a
not my
spinal
pussy.
fusion. A spinal
Like
fusion
there's
is
no
basically where they
tomorrow.
stick
There's no
titanium
today.
rods and bolt all that stuff to your spine. Because basically,
Joint move no more.
when I was 16 years old, I had a hunchback that was nearly 90 degrees. It was
Oh wow.
really fucking bad. Yeah. So it
Wow.
was crazy. I had the spinal fusion. I literally woke up from the surgery. All of a sudden, I was 6 inches taller, and all of a sudden, I could breathe. I was like, "Holy shit! My lungs were crushed my entire life. I can actually breathe now."
That sounds painful, man. And is that, and after that surgery, that spinal fusion, you decided to get a tattoo?
Yeah, I got a tattoo marking up the surgery scar, and the tattoo is basically a representation of what's inside of my spine. So you can actually, somebody that has no awareness of spinal fusions could see the scar and go, "Oh, look, there's all these, metals attached to his spine and stuff."
Interesting. Sorry you had to go through that whole fusion anyway. Nuanced
I just
newly
find it a
brought.
fascinating question when people ask about tattoos because I don't tie it to my ego. I don't find it offenseful if somebody says that they don't like tattoos or anything because for me I'd only got one tattoo and it was for
Do not
comfort and
watch.
meaning
Suck
and
my
help
pussy,
me
dude.
deal with the
I'll
trauma
be
of having my
grateful.
entire fucking spine fused at such an early age.
How did you what happened to your spine? Like did someone kick you in the back? What happened?
No, it was literally growth spurts. Basically, what was happening is instead of just having one long, steady growth spurts, I'd have multiple small growth spurts. And
Wow.
what happened is because I had multiple small growth spurts, one side of my spine was outgrowing the other side. So the front of my spine was really
Wow.
so the front of my spine was really tiny, but the back of my spine was really tall. So I just started naturally curving to the point that my back was nearly a 90-degree curve, and I'm pretty much looking at the fucking ground.
Wow. Were you curved sideways or forwards, if that makes sense?
Forward. Yeah, that's what I'm
Wow.
saying. I was curved forward because the front part of my spine was small, but the back part of it was tall.
Can I say this respectfully,
Go for
GTR?
it.
If this is a genetic condition, then I would advise not to have children.
I don't think it's about genetics because
Yeah,
that's
but
where I'm
hold on,
saying it
hold
was.
on. He got fixed, you know, thought provoke. You shouldn't you that's a
No,
quite an
I don't mean
impolite thing.
offense.
You got to be careful what I'm being just responsible adult. You got to be careful what you say to people because
I agree.
the truth is you could say that about a lot of people, you know.
Yes.
And people will not like you saying that in public, okay?
Oh yeah.
Now
I'm
the
very
thing is
mindful.
that particular thing he had I've heard, is this what they call curvature of the spine, right?
There's scoliosis, which is curved, sideways curvature of the spine. That's what most people end up having. But
Yeah,
then there's
I've heard about that.
kyphosis. Then there's kyphosis, and kyphosis is where you have the hunchback.
Right. I mean, it's just an unfortunate part of some people's growing experience, as you say, you know.
Well, that's where I'm saying that, you know, like I get where he's coming from with genetics, but I come from the perspective of epigenetics and that it's even more
Right.
complex than that, you know, like, you know.
And the thing is, are they quite good at catching it now and treating it? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing is that they were saying, you know, that a decade ago they would have put me in a back brace and it wouldn't have fixed anything and I would be in pain for the rest of my life. So, you know, it really is a fucking, you know, like
So
I shit on.
now they're able to treat it, basically, are they?
Yeah, no, exactly. You know, the thing, literally, if my mom had this, you know, when she was growing up, they wouldn't have been able to really do anything except put her in a back brace.
Nuance Nudibrandt says all humans are only temporary able-bodied.
Not
So,
what?
Ooh, I like that.
I mean, in
Who's
many
Travolta?
respects, it might well have given
Do you know what?
Gaia a kind of perspective on life that will help him connect to others. Maybe now now that he's come through it, you know.
That's a great comment. You know, all humans are only temporarily able-bodied. Great
Yep.
comment.
No,
Did
that's an
Pamela
amazing
say
comment.
something?
Well,
Pamela,
you haven't even met each other before.
Pamela,
It's like,
did you say?
I'll suck you and you suck me. Damn.
What? What did she say?
No idea.
Okay. Right. Anybody else gonna say something? Sorry, guys, I was away for a bit, but I'm back.
DNW, I never asked you this question, but what is a deal breaker for you?
I would say
for relationships, of course.
I would say. I would say. Probably.
By the way, take your time. We're not going anywhere.
No. I would say probably. I was going to
But
say
I
like
would love
racism or something like along kind of people who had extreme right-wing views.
Yeah.
So
extreme right-wing views. I suppose. Look, someone who didn't have much empathy, you know.
Interesting. Yeah. So lack of empathy.
Oh, he did that. That's like,
Pamela, will you calm down?
For what? I sure didn't meet you for nothing. Do know what? You can try someone else. But I thought about you. Oh, it's like, I've had moments thinking about do you not watch?
Do not watch. Do not.
Imagine opening your pussy lips.
Oh Jesus! I'm muting her. I'm muting her now. Fuck it.
Let's
Mute her,
not get too disgusting here.
Oh no, she's there. Mute her. You're muted now. Fucking hell, Pamela. So what was I gonna say? Yeah.
So-
I mean, I thought, fuck, you say these things, but we all know that love is a very fucked up thing. And I say love, but you get with someone, and then you don't really find out who they are until a little bit well into the relationship, actually. And by that time, you're probably fucking addicted. So it's a very problematic thing. You know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying. Some
Yeah.
people don't show their true colors until, for example, you get married.
Mm.
Some people know how to hide it well, from what
I
I've
don't
heard.
even know if they mean it. You know,
Mm.
there's a lot of these people say people do these things intentionally. I think a lot of people are trying to be nice, and then like, they're trying to be nice, but they've also got another side to them, and it just like we're all kind of dual natured in some ways. We have good and bad sides to us, and I just think that as life goes on, stresses will bring out the bad side sometimes. But that's not all they are. But then again, when you're going into ideologies and views on humanity and stuff, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, some people just seem to have very unempathetic views.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know how easily they change. But I mean, I like to think they
Just
change, but
existing here is bullshit.
uh-huh.
Unempathetic views. Are you sure about that? God damn.
She loves to say
Just
God damn.
existing here is a little bit fucking traumatic, isn't it? God damn.
Hey, DNW, why do you have a horse as your profile picture?
Good question. It was just I think horses are nice animals, and basically, I think they're kind of majestic and kind of there's something very noble about them, I suppose. But more, it was the imagery of the horse running through hell. I quite like that. It was like it suited my outlook because
James Bond.
it suited my outlook because I'm gonna mute you, Pamela. Sorry. It suited my outlook because it was like running through hell, and it was a good kind of image to kind of illustrate my view of life. That we're going through hell. The horses,
that is really interesting because
but it's kind of positive because the horse does look like it's going, like it's trying. It's trying, hasn't given up yet.
Right.
I want to talk about what if I lack
If you would
emotional
like to
empathy.
join the conversation, please feel welcome to come on and talk right now. The link is available in the live chat on YouTube. This is a talk show.
Okay, sorry about that.
I was about to ask you if you were doing the accent.
No. It's just I just made the voice. I'll play it one more time.
You would like to
I
join
know.
the conversation, please feel welcome to come on and talk right now. The link is available in the live chat on YouTube. This is a talk show.
Okay, I mean it's a little bit slow. I think I need to speed it up a bit, but okay.
Come on in for Southern biscuits and gravy, homemade.
Oh, we're doing American accents.
Don't forget the sweet tea.
Don't you mean TP?
Oh, don't drink that. Don't drink that.
But how would you help someone who feels empty because they have no emotional empathy? I don't think there's a way to make them have emotional empathy, only cognitive. I was going to ask Guy that because he knows about being trapped in your own brain.
What about it?
I think I know what you're talking about, Anno. You're talking about like the what's it called? The neurophysiology of psychopathy. How a psychopath's brain wiring is going to be wired up differently, so they might not have the capacity for empathy in the traditional sense.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, let me ask you. Hey,
in fact, I vote not to be here because we have the
DNW.
Got to mute you now, Pamela.
You
Yeah, what's that?
Life isn't fair until there's a neurological treatment that will make me feel the maximum emotional empathy for people. Because I don't know what I am on the spectrum because there's no objective test to tell, and I'm
True.
self-reporting. I don't like when people
Okay.
self-report because I don't trust it.
Yeah. No, that's a really interesting one because so many people think that that when you're wired a certain way, you're permanently wired that way. I don't think there's a magic cure. There's no panacea
Guys,
that
I'll
can
be right
flip
back.
you from being being more of a psychopath to being more of an empath. But I do think there can be certain situations in life, experiences, or drug states or mystic states, meditation that can end up inducing those types of things. So it's a really interesting and controversial one because people like to try to manipulate those things, to their own agendas. Religious people will go, "Oh yeah, there is a cure. Jesus will fix you and make you so you're not a psychopath anymore." But it's like that's not the way people should be talking about these things.
I
So
know that I'm not a psychopath because I feel fear and I get bothered, but like maybe I could be like a covert narcissist or something to where they don't ever feel emotional empathy. Or I don't know, like I've never been in someone else's mind, so I don't know what it truly feels like to be a normal person or an empathetic person or a non-empathetic person.
yep. No,
Hey,
I think that's curious because a lot of people would go to say oh, psychedelics help that, but the thing I think about is MDMA. Yeah, it's an empathinogenic drug. It causes empathy. It causes that feeling of connection to humanity. So
You should
it's a
spell
really
that out for me, like in the somewhere in a written media, so I can look it up later.
Oh yeah, well the one problem though with that though, in just the sense that like MDMA is great for helping with these treatments, and it's a great option. But the problem with MDMA is the current world where they got legislation that makes it impossible to access compassionately, and then on the streets it's tainted with drugs that could end up killing you. So if you guide anybody to that kind of thing, you need to instantly tell them about harm reduction and get testing kits and to test their
Yeah, yeah,
substance
yeah.
before
I'll
using
sign
it.
the waiver. I'll sign the waiver. Let's just get on with the drug-induced empathy.
Oh, I feel you with that though. I'm always, ever since I fell in love with drugs, I've gotten more and more fascinated with all these things. The thing I've been saying the past few years is I'm going, why can't they just make a version of what's it called estrogen? Why can't they just make a form of estrogen that affects the mind and not the body? Because holy shit, I wouldn't mind taking some estrogen that messes with my mental state, but not my body. I'm not trying to grow tits,
Well,
but I'd love to be able to take some estrogen and watch some fucking rom com and sob my eyes out.
it really does affect that because, like, women who have biological children, their brain changes on scans, and they say it could be they become more empathetic. And I wish I could simulate that without actually having a child.
oh, I know. There's this, from what I've heard from some women, there's this fear. Hence why some women don't want to have children, is because they have this fear that once they have children, they'll lose their identity. What are your thoughts on that?
I would say it's definitely possible, and it's because men, like in our society, a lot of times, I think they're entitled to just have women like carry the children physically, and that it's a woman's duty to do that, and then all the labor of childbearing is pushed on the woman, so they lose themselves because now they're just all they're here for is for the child and not anything else.
Yeah, so they end up not having any hobbies and just knowing themselves, if that makes sense. Because they're so
That's why I'm
occupied with the child.
disgusted. Like when men talk about just impregnating women as much as possible or something, it's like
Ugh.
that's disgusting.
It is, it is.
No, you provided a really good counter narrative, expanding on the patriarch and how the patriarch is also at play here.
If
It's not
men,
just women in a state of egotism, where their egos being reactionary because it's feeling threatened by the potential of having their identity sublimated into their child. It can sometimes be more than that. Sometimes it's part of the patriarchy. So that was a really interesting addition you added there, Anno. I appreciate that.
I,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
thank you.
I think if men, I've heard this saying before, and I agree. if men were the ones to basically be pregnant, then less men would be, basically more men would be more cautious when it comes to having children biologically, if that makes sense.
It's actually quite disgusting because a man can easily afflict a woman with that condition, but it doesn't mean the man will comprehend the weight of what is happening or even like own up to it.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said, if the roles were reversed and men were the ones to basically, be pregnant, then
Good
men would
night,
be more
question mark.
basically men would be more cautious when having children because they know that it's going to be painful.
All right, guys. Anything else to talk about? Anything else to talk about, guys?
I still want to talk about why I can't flip a switch and make myself more empathetic or even switch brains with other people.
What the hell was that noise? Okay. Right, guys. I mean, if we're not going to talk about anything else, we can end the show. But it's up to you. If anybody else watching wants to come on quickly and say something, then please do. But other than that, I mean,
Wait. Look, I'm going to say one. I'm going to ask Anno a question, then I'll leave. Anno.
Yes.
Do you prefer Pizza Hut or Domino's?
Papa John's.
Oh wow, straight jacket for you. No, I'm joking. All right. Well, thanks for having me. At DNW and GTS and Anno. Nice meeting you too.
Yeah, it was nice
It's the
talking.
washing machine. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
That's
but
okay.
yeah.
I mean, you can stay TP if you want to chat. I don't mind, but it's I don't know if anybody wants to talk about something else, maybe, or whatever.
Actually, I have to go. But yeah, don't forget to check out my channel, The Thought
Yeah.
Provoker. But yeah,
The Thought Provoker is on YouTube, guys, so you can check him out.
thank you, DNW. Nice to meet you, GTS, Anno, Banano, and au revoir.
Take care, buddy. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, we got Pamela back. And yeah. So we're at that time of the night now when unless it gets going very, very soon, we will end the show. But yeah, it was an interesting one. It's nice to have a thought provoker with us. And we'll see. We got Nuance Nudie Branch in the chat. Hopefully they'll come on at some point. And yeah, we can expand our potential to find Gnosis, with more people. With more people, I'm sure there will be greater possibility to find Gnosis. Hopefully, Pamela's back. Pamela, what did you want to say? You there?
Yeah.
You're right.
I am indeed.
Good stuff. Well, I suppose, guys, we will leave it there and we'll end the show, will we?
We'll
Unless you
leave
want
it there because you're the boss. You're
Well,
the
I mean,
boss.
we can keep going if you want.
Since you've been online for ages, you're the boss. What about me? You sound
All right.
attractive. But, well, since I'm the boss and going on. Well, fuck off then.
Pamela, sorry. What do you want to talk about then, Pamela?
Not much after that.
All right. Well, no, you're welcome to stay and chat backstage. Gaia will be there, I'm sure. Anno left. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there, guys, as in regard to the live show. And if you guys want to chat backstage, you're
We
most
need
welcome.
to leave it as that. It'd be really bad if we don't.
I think
Damn.
so. All right, guys, we'll let the show end, and we'll come back soon. Everybody who tuned in or will tune in, thank you. We will be returning to a more kind of structured live schedule soon. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.